today's show. That in the lovely purple is your girl Adara, and I am Sharif. And we're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the other chat. A little bit of a delayed reaction today. Shout out to the Bears, or to Bears versus Bulls, the world's greatest moderator joining us in the house as well. Shout out to him. Always doing the absolute most in a good way. It looks like people taking a little bit of time to weasel on over from the other stream. So we'll just kind of wait and hang out. See? Oh, there we go. Neo Rob. What's up, Neo Rob? We got Juan Padilla and Adam Deluxe. Shout out to my man Adam. We got Danny. We got DVD. RD43. Andrew Chow and Eddie R joining us as well. Kuri, 2S, and a proper paradox. Day Trader Cut. Adrian, Big Bob Dub, MB3, Trader Drew, as well as Vic Jan Novak. What's going on to Jimmy J and the Pawns, the Fawns, Fiddleback as well, Glenn Smith and Matthew Booth, Ryan, Mr. Ian. We got Blind Leader and J Lo, Jose Gonzalez and Brendan. Shout out to both those guys. We got Leonel Martinez and Danny Burko. Hope I didn't butcher that last name. I do apologize. We got Viral 86 and Andrew Chow. Shout out to Anurag as well, one of the OGs there in chat, and the Piper. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning. How are you doing today, Sharif?
I cannot complain. It's nice and cool outside. Let's put it that way, Adara. But it was nice for a morning walk. Hopefully the weather becomes a little bit more seasonable. What's the look on your side of the desk?
Yeah, I actually have one name, and I just made a video about this and kind of singing to the stock a little bit on my Instagram, TraderTV Adara. I really like SMCI today. And I actually have levels on it in both directions. And I want to talk about this because this is not a stock I've ever traded. I never traded it in the sim. I've never traded it live. However, yesterday I got shut down yesterday. I was very open about that. And I looked at the SMCI chart at one point during the day and I was like, why don't I look at this more? Like, I love trading spready stocks that are way too expensive. That's one of my favorite things to do. You know, I trade Lilly a lot. I trade CrowdStrike a lot. I was talking with Sharif this morning as well. Like, I used to trade a lot of Lulu and Netflix on earnings. Lulu's reporting next week, so I've got that on watch. But the point is, I'm actually kind of stunned. I've never really considered SMCI because I know at one point it was very meme-ish, but lately it's been a little bit more stable and it always gives you volume. So if things set up, why am I not looking at them? So with that in mind, I sit down, I see that 610, I sing to SMCI. I'm like, 610, hold, because we were pushing at that point above the 90 May. So I was like, if we hold that 610, that's a long. And where's the next level? You have resistance, 616, right? I was like, cool, $6 winner. You're risky to 608s. Dope. Please just punch. However, then I go. I'm going to do my multi-time frame confirmation. Before I do that, I get my T. By the time I get my T, SMCI is still a little floosh. So then I do my multi-time frame confirmation. Shout out to Sharif too, because I was like, oh, the level didn't hold. And he's like, oh, but you didn't do your confirmation. I was like, thank you, Sharif. Well, I think this confirmation proved to me that 616 is a level. Look at how many times we use this as support. So 616 is huge for me. That is huge. But also huge to me is this support at 602. If we break 602, oh, it is game over. It is game over. But if we can hold 610, then I like it as a long. I also have eyes on Lilly, but none of my levels on Lilly are hitting right now. My key level, and I mentioned this, I literally yelled this at Sharif this morning too. I said, if Lilly holds 944 on the way down, I'm going long that thing. Because 944 was a bit of a level to me for the Lilly. Scalper J saying SMCI is trash, Adara, in my opinion. I don't mind. You know, it's a stock. But I'll apologize to SMCI, just so you know, like, we don't mean any hard feelings. But yeah, shout out to you, Scalper J. Shout out to everybody in this chat. Darius Golden saying it's a volatile stock. Honestly, I totally respect that. I know you trade that one a lot as well, Darius. I used to trade like Lilly almost constantly, so I think I'm okay with a little bit of volatility in this SMCI. What are you doing? Oh, I love those TQ triangles.
Yeah, I was going to talk about it right now, but I want to mention Dan the Man Emmons. Sharif, I'm still short the NQ from 19,908 for a 150-point banger and still holding trailers now, tagging myself, Big Spile, and the Katina Man. Shout out to Dan, the Man Emmons. I also want to mention, I looked over at Neil and I said this right now, and it behooves me to tell you guys as well. Thank you, Valley Girl, for putting this in the chat. KOSS, KOSS, is up again today. 12 3/4 was up yesterday. Believe it or not, KOSS is up 187% year to date, and it really hasn't given back some of those. We know that the Catman was looking at KOSS. He tweeted about it, or at least we assume, guys, because here's the chart on cost, and you can see I had the ticker in from yesterday because it had a good day yesterday as well. To be quite honest with you, from the opening print at 9:30 to the high of today, obviously we're not at the high right now, up 27%. So obviously, you know, I'm going to caution people about trading or buying this name because it's not moving on any discernible news. In fact, the headline here that I'm seeing on my news blotter is quite negative. So with that being said, it is still up 12 3/4, and it is still up 187% year to date. Facts do matter in this particular case. So that is a look. I want to mention cost. Now I'll just talk about my futures trade super quick. It was really a quick scalp. You guys know how I roll. It was the entrance as a result of this move back up into this area trough. So we had an area trough above that 19.8 on the NQ September contract. We move up, lo and behold, wow, where did I learn this? Support flips to resistance and resistance flips to support. There it goes, and that's exactly what we got in there. Get it, Katina Man, what's going on over there? Appreciate that. We know the Katina Man to be a support and resistance trader, so he likes hearing stuff like that. So that's a look. That's why I got in there, and that's the only trade I've had on so far underlined. So we'll be looking at obviously getting involved. As I see Apple is moving back into the volume weighted average price, that could be another possible short opportunity, but we'll get to that in a hot second because we do, Adara, have a lesson to talk about. It's a lesson I'm kind of excited about. I'm not going to lie. So this is a type of moving average that I had no knowledge of until I sat down and wrote the lesson yesterday. I hadn't even read about it in either the Chartered Market Technician materials for the first year, nor John J. Murphy's technical analysis of the financial markets. I had no idea that there was a weighted moving average that you could customize. So let's get right to it and talk right about it. In case you don't know, we're talking about moving averages and all the derivative type of indicators that you can make out of moving or use out of moving averages this week and next. So let's get right to it. So understanding the WMA, weighted moving average. What is this? So the weighted moving average is obviously a technical analysis tool that assigns different weights to data points within a specific period. What am I talking about? So unlike the SMA, the simple moving average, which gives equal weight to all data points, and unlike the exponential moving average, which more heavily weights to recent data, the WMA allows you for customizing or custom weighting of your data points. And so it might seem a little arbitrary at first, but I'm going to submit to you some good strategies for this as we go. So how does it work essentially? So the WMA calculates the average by multiplying each price by its corresponding weight, summing the results, and then dividing by the sum of the weights. So if you have a 14-day moving average and you want to more heavily weight the more recent 4 days, and then more lightly weight the other 10 days. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply those 4 days by your customized multiplier, which I'll show you in a second, and then the other 10 days with a different multiplier. Then you're going to add them up and then divide by the number. Simple as that. So nothing really changes here from the SMA to the WMA except you're assigning specific multipliers and doing that multiplication calculation before you add and then divide to get the average. Okay? So higher weights are assigned generally to more recent data points, but it doesn't always have to be like that, giving them a greater influence on the overall average. So what are the advantages of WMA? Well, first of all, there's better responsiveness to price changes. So because WMA gives more weight to recent data, it can react faster to market trends than the SMA, making it more suitable for that shorter term trading strategy. But it's also obviously customizable. By adjusting the weights, traders can tailor the WMA to their specific trading style and market conditions. And that's why I like it. Trading style and market conditions makes it customizable, okay? For instance, in a fast-moving market, like the one that we had last Monday or the Monday prior to that, higher weights can be given to recent data points for quick reaction, but you don't always have to have it that way, especially when the market's a little slower or more consolidative. And obviously, there's the more potential for the smoothing out the lines because you're adding that multiplier. So depending on the weighting scheme that you apply, WMA can produce smoother lines as compared to the SMA, which can help reduce noise and improve identification. Some of the disadvantages, though, of WMA are obviously on its face, the complexity. Determining the optimal weights can be a bit challenging and requires a careful consideration of the market conditions and your trading goals. But it's also more sensitive to the outliers, those aggressive price movements that happen every once in a while. So as WMA gives more weight to recent data, or however you customize it, it can be more sensitive to the extreme price movements or outliers, as we call them, which might lead to some false signals. And obviously, as with every type of moving average, it is a lagging indicator. They are not leading indicators. They sometimes, denote areas of support and resistance, but that's as leading as they will become. They are reflecting past price movement. That is always an Achilles heel of the moving average. So when do we want to use the weighted moving average? Before I show you how to employ it in your program and how the weighting goes here, how do you use it? Well, it's primarily useful in fast-moving markets, like the WMA's responsiveness to recent price changes can be advantageous in markets with rapid price fluctuations, as well as those that are experienced in Forex or crypto. Seems to be good there. Short-term trading as well, like on this desk, intraday trading would account to that. Traders focusing on intraday or swing trading may find WMA more helpful than the SMA due to its ability to capture those shorter term trends. And it's also good for specific market conditions. So if a trader believes the recent price action is more indicative of future trends, WMA or the weighted moving average can be a more suitable choice. So how do we customize these weights? It's great that I've told you that it's customizable, but I haven't said anything about what kind of customization preferences or settings should go in. So traders often experiment with these custom weights to suit their specific styles and the market conditions, but here are some examples of the more commonly used weightings. So weighting based on volume. So for example, if I'm using a 14-day or a 20-day moving average, I can go back and look at all 14 or all 20 of those days and give the multiplier that I want to the days with the outlying volume. So instead of using equal weights like the SMA does, for each data point, the weight is determined essentially in this specific scenario based on the trading volume for that period. This gives more influence to periods with higher trading activity. But you can also weight it based on price. So you can go back, the 10, the 14, the 20, whatever it is, and you can assign weights that are based on the price levels of each data point. Like this can be useful for identifying areas of support and resistance. You can also you can weight it based on range. So weights are based on the price range, the high minus the low, right, for each period. This can filter out periods with low volatility. And you obviously can have custom weights based on technical indicators. So a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll weight it differently based on where the RSI is or where the MACD is, for example. So the customization really here is not just based on the moving average preferences and settings. You can go outside that completely. Look at volume, look at price, look at range, look at other technical indicators, and based on those, you go back to the day and assign a different multiplier for that day, depending on what your goals are and what the market conditions are. And some trading strategies, obviously, for WMA doesn't really differ a whole lot from other moving averages, but there's a trend following, right? Traders can use WMA to identify the direction of the trend and enter positions accordingly. Their crossovers here are valid as well. So a crossover from a shorter term WMA on a long term one, that can be that golden cross or that death cross if it's crossing down. Also very useful for momentum trading. By comparing WMA to the price or the current price action, traders can assess the strength of the current trend and identify potential overbought or oversold conditions. You often hear me talk about, especially with the small cap gappers, I don't like to get long if they're well extended off the 10 exponential on the 5. And this is kind of the idea here. You can kind of gauge how far away from high or low the price action is from the WMA and make an assessment as to whether it's overbought or oversold, kind of like what we use RSI for. And obviously, support and resistance is one of the main key features of moving averages. You'll often hear Neil and Sean talk about something coming into the 50, something coming into the 200. They'll often look at it from a different light. If it's coming into that area, so much are those levels respected. So the WMA can act as a dynamic support and resistance level, obviously, because it's moving, it's dynamic. When the price touches the WMA, it might indicate a potential reversal or continuation of the trend. So I just want to show you kind of how I use it on my platform over here. Not like I've really had a lot of experience using it. So the way you go in, you just go into your technical analysis studies. And the way that I have it is weighted moving average. And I add that bad boy in, and here are basically, it's the same inputs as I would have for my simple and for my exponential. I have my period, and I have my input price, which I want to be the close. It always has to be the closing print that is the most important. So the duration and the input price, and then basically you go in after, and then you assign the different weightings. So I hope that helps. Obviously, I know it's kind of a novel concept for people, so people may not be quick to adopt it. But I figured, knowing about the weighted moving average would certainly help us a little bit. And, we talk about anchoring VWAP as well, right? So
it's a Brian Shannon on the market recap with Sean and I tonight.
Hey, and yeah, the big spiled one always loves using anchored VWAPs as well. The Katina man uses it. I don't know if you've involved yourself in it.
I have not involved myself in it. I'm curious about it. I know Obi has as well. I think he does a little bit of anchored VWAP. So dope look there. But also, if there's any stocks you have a dope look on, go in the chat, let us know, ! Join. Space. $, that ticker. As you know, Shreve lets us know too, ! Or shift 1, you know what I mean, ! Join space, $, that ticker. Let us know in the chat. I think this will be a great look there. And thank you. Oh, I love that. Look, it's me and the thing. That's really cool. So yeah, if you're confident about any tickers, or if you're not as confident about any tickers, you have any questions about any tickers, let us know, please and thank you. Also, you might be like, oh, Adara, what did you do during that period? Just casually stared at two really expensive stocks. Eli Lilly. I said this in the chat. I was so tempted to short this. I said, wait to see what it does at 950 if it retests 950, which it did, by the way. So why did I like this 950? Well, okay, I know I was waiting for 944s, but I was like, Adara, look at this VWAP projection. And I looked at this in a couple time frames as well. Showed it to, I forget who it was. Someone in the chat mentioned Eli Lilly 950. Like I said, my main level on this was going to be 944, right? But then I look at the daily chart. Like, hey, is there any confluence in the daily chart? 950. This is beautiful. This is gorgeous. This is immaculate. I'm like, okay. So watch, wait, plot, scheme, get money. Shout out to Drake for this thing. But unfortunately, Lilly actually did get the closest thing to 950 before selling right off. I have no levels on this right now. We didn't even get to that 940 for chance for the bounce. We bounced higher here at 945. I have a feeling this could pop higher. I am not touching this till it makes its decision here around VWAP. But basically, the short was going to be getting it evolved just above 950s, risking to 953s, risking $3, trying to make minimum $6 because, like I said, I like that 944. Alas, it didn't come into play, but you know what did? Shout out to Darius Golden here talking about this in the chat. SMCI. Spiky popped. So if we get a retest here just above 610s, I'll risk this into 608. Like I said, I fully see 616 minimum here. I don't think I'll get filled, but I'm going to try to start a position here if I may, because fortune favors the bold. And the bold have to place entries here on SMCI. So I'm going to go for 10, 15s because with SPCE, you got to kind of give it some opportunities. I know these are some top tail candles. That made me nervous too. But look at that curl we have up here. Look at that clear support. I don't know what that gesture was. We've got some support here though at 606. And also, if I may show you the 30-minute chart, either way, if you say no, I'm still going to show you the 30-minute chart. So look at all of these bottoming tail candles. Look at that clear 602 support. I said if 602 support breaks, I'm cool going short, but it didn't. I'm cool going long. Let's go, SMCI. I'm not in it yet, so to be clear. And I'm not chasing SMCI. I have no interest in chasing SMCI. The only other level in which I'd be interested in getting long from that is if we bounce off 616, because like I said, I like 616, and I like 616 on multiple time frames. If we bounce off the 616, sort of in confluence with VWAP, I'd go long there as well. Then I'd have to figure out where to risk into, but we'll wait, we'll see. I don't think I'm getting filled here. Honestly, spent a lot of time watching both Lilly and SPCE, so it makes sense. Instead of getting one or the other, I got neither. So there we go. I feel like I'm the main character in a really sad romance movie, but it's all good there. These stocks don't care about your feelings. So I'm going to wait, I'm going to watch. Like I said, I have levels on both of these, and I'm trying to trade less stocks because my biggest issue there, I had that AMD breakout. I literally was in it and I wasn't able to risk enough for it because I was all like sad and mopey and like, you know, whatever. Like I wasted too much risk on CrowdStrike for reasons. So I'm trying to basically just stick more with trades that make sense and waiting for my opportunities instead of getting into every stock that looks at me the wrong way or looks at me the right way. So we're going to wait. We're going to see and we're going to thank Benzinga.
Absolutely, Adair. Thank you for that segue. Are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in the market? Are you missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Well, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Are you ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? I know I am. Visit benzinga.com/pro and get yourself that free 14-day trial. Shout out to the good folks there at Benzinga. All right, here I want to talk about a couple of things. Shout out to Day Trader Cut for pointing this out to me. Texas Instruments just popping up their big $6 in like two 5-minute candles, Katina, man. There is. I got it right here. Texas Instrument exec says company can deliver 2026 revenue of $26 billion if the market conditions are ideal. Well, yeah, I can.
That's a really good headline.
Let's not even look into that, Adair. I know.
And did you get it?
Oh, God.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't mean to upset you.
So yeah, there it is, popping up 204.45, back down into 203.47. In any event, wanted to mention this, guys, to you. Not one that we typically trade on this here desk, but one that is moving nonetheless. All right, so this is the trade that I wanted to get into here, and I think I'm going to get into now because it's broken above my level. So I got short on the future as a result of this obvious level over here, and now we're coming into that more, the level that I actually was looking at, which is 70.90 on the TQQQs. I'd like to say it was around 19.825 on the actual contract itself. Let's see if we can weasel into this trade here. Is it going to topping tail or what's the sitch? So yeah, I don't want to jump in. Well, let's see. We can give it to about 18.8, right? So a 17.7 break here. Let's go. So we're going to go 70. And then we're going to give it to, what are we going to give? We're going to give to right here. So we're going to go like that. And then we're going to go like this. So let's see what's the price that we got. Oh, I didn't put that up. That's not good. Sharif, you should be better with that. I didn't. Sorry, just allow me a moment, guys. I got to make sure that all my windows are seeable. There we go. All right, so let's see here. We got 79s, the break of 70, and I'm going to get out. I'd like to get something around possibly mid-90s if we're able to. The future's going to have to hold up here. So this is a level that of interest to me. If it doesn't hold up here, I'm wrong, and we're going to move on from this trade. Now, I want to get to my small cap gappers that I've got on my side chart in a second, but I want to allow this trade to resolve in one direction or another. A whole bunch of resistance being met at this 19.825. That is a level that we were basically rejecting right at the opening print there, right at 8:30. So this was the look I'm looking at here. We whiffled and waffled there in the pre-market, then the opening print. We moved up from there. Now we're using it as resistance, but we'll see if we can get something to the high side here or there. Yeah,
I mean, hopefully, yeah, you get that pop to the high side there. Good look there for the TQs. Unfortunately, I'm not filled on either a Lilly and SMCI. I apologize because I'm not in any trades right now, but I think I'd rather wait for something I feel really, really good about. I feel more responsible about that than getting involved in stocks that I feel about. And the only thing I feel really, really good about right now are, unfortunately, my very expensive children, Eli Lilly and SMCI. Shout out as well to Vicky and Novak saying long SMCI, but I keep now SMCIs in my head every time I try to say SMCI now. I tried to get long SPCE here. Like I said, at 610, was not able to get filled. I had my entry at 610.10s. The closest we got was 610.26s on that pop. So alas, did not occur. But like I said, if we get into that 616 above VWAP, above that area here of support or resistance on a couple different levels, that will be a great look. Then I'd be comfortable going long. But like I said, I also have my eyes on Mademoiselle Lilly, because Lilly here, I said I wanted to see what it did at 944s. That to me would be an interesting bounce level. But you know what we did at 944s? We didn't even get there. We bounced at 945s pretty violently, if I say so myself. I was watching the book. So if we get above 950s now, because like I said, that 950 rejection was harsh. That was so violent, I couldn't even get filled. We get above that 950, coming into confluence with VWAP here. To me, that's a long. And I also like this little trophy area here around 948 that we spent some time building. So risking $2 on Lilly is absolutely something I can live with. And I think with Lilly, you actually do kind of have to risk more, given that the spread on Lilly can be up to $1, if not more. So I think that makes sense. Shout out here to Darius Golden saying, applauding that patient. SMCI definitely requires it. Take a look at that. Daily, you can see the bull flag. Yeah, I like I said, I really like that 602 on the daily. Thank you, Darius Golden, for the shout out. I know you are an SMCI trader for sure there, so shout out to you. And I think what's interesting too is, especially these stocks that have really peculiar behavioral patterns, the more you watch them, the more you can get a sense of how they move, right? Like I spend arguably too much time watching Lilly. I spend a lot of you know what I mean? Like I know you spend some time watching SMCI. I keep saying, whatever, the McKeed one. So you know what I mean? Good takes there. But as I wait for my very expensive stocks to do what I want them to do, we have Easy Trader asking us about any takes on a Lumen 610 break. Hello to you, Easy Trader. Yeah, honestly, Lumen, I don't know if I'm the best person to look at a Lumen 610 break, but I'll look at it for you because the volume on this is great. Always my worry with these small caps is, okay. I actually love that you asked me this question. This is not one I would trade at all, but I love the opportunity to look at this stock because this is actually, again, sometimes I feel like these small cap breakouts are not as clean. This is clean. This is beautiful. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at this 5.8. Like we got this 580 rejection 3 times, slightly higher highs each time. Then we slam here, holding the support at 568, pushing higher, right? Then we wick up into the faded 610 level, which is actually our high of day. Emphasis on wick though. We did not close there. We closed at like 602s. Now we're seeing a bit of a bull flag. I think if we can hold 594, nice look. My concern with the long here is I don't know where you risk into. Like what, like 580s look on a stock like Lumen. That's given it quite a lot of room. That would be my point. Let's look at the daily chart too for 610 because I know Lumen's been at 6, but I want to be able to illuminate you on some potential levels here of support and resistance. Lumen, you got a bull flag on the daily too, huh? I actually really like this look, Easy Trader. I don't know if this would be an easy trade just because of how Lumen moves. But I think, yeah, if you pop into that 610, I think that 640 area, certainly something we've tried a couple times. I think 640 would be an area. But again, Lumen, relative volume compared to the last few days, not great, though it is 10 million shares. I'd be cognizant of the volume. I'd be looking for a risk level. But I think if we hold 594s, it's not a bad look for me on LUMN. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to look at that because that's a good look. We have SMCI. Sneaky careening violently here into 610 and not so super or not so micro of a way. Keeping an eye on that. Both that one and Lilly kind of flip-flop between my levels. The other stock I might consider trading here is AMD, actually. But because I like what AMD is doing heading into 157.50s. That being said, I don't really have the confidence in that I do with the other two. And as I say that, it pushes lower. Let's see what SPCE does below 610. Let's see what Lilly does as it heads back down. And thank you, Ahmed Amwala, for the AED 1799 Super Chat. Actually addressed at you.
Oh, okay. I was gonna, okay, let me just look at that quickly over here.
It's just saying short QQ, yeah, I guess.
Ahmed, yes, I agree with you. I was just actually about to talk about it. Great call on your part. Look, I got long over here at 77s. I wet my beak at 95s. I took 20 quick pennies on it. Second scalp on the TQQs. But you're absolutely right. Look what it did. And it came back into this level. Now, Ahmed, what I want to look at is you can see there's an obvious area of consolidation here on the one, albeit, of course, on the one. I want to see if we bounce off this area of consolidation. If we do, it's 2 higher highs and 2 higher lows, albeit obviously still down 1% on the TQQs, 0.3% on the actual NQ September contract. But I'm all eyes and ears. I want to see, do we break down below this 70, 60 area, 750 area, or do we hold up at that area? If we hold up, I'm thinking a little bullish here, possibly. I'm not, I'm not going to punch long at that area. Hello.
Kathy, what's up? What are you trying to tell us, Kathy?
What does she want?
Why are you calling us, Kathy?
We're talking about the TQQs over here. Is she actively managing more of her portfolio? Should she add more into T-Doc? I need answers, Kathy.
Tele-doc us if you add it. You got to tell us. You add it to Teledoc. Tele-document it.
Get it, Adara. All right. Couple of things here. I told Tisha Perkins I'd look at S-Tech for her. So when she was asking me to look at it, sorry, Tisha, took me a hot minute to get to it. But look, I don't think the stock is anywhere near done on the day. We haven't even had a dollar touch. My inclination or my suspicion, I should say, is I think We knock on the door of that dollar today. We're up a cool 274%. Coming off those levels right now, but we did work our way in at about 94 pennies, 93.39, down into about 3/4 of a penny right now, below 75 pennies. So this has done umpteen amount of shares, so it behooves me to give you the deets before I talk about some of these other small cap gappers. 36 million shares. I got to tell you though, it's only 71 pennies, so it's not a whole lot so far. $20 million market cap, that is with the 250% pop. It's got a 56 million share float, so not big nor small. Let's find out what the short float is using Trade Ideas, and shout out to Nos Boss and his crew over there. We don't have a short float vis-a-vis Trade Ideas, sadly, so we won't have that data point for you. But I'm all eyes and ears, Tisha, at VWAP. VWAP and the 10 exponential on the 5 right now intersecting right around 65 pennies. Seems like a good enough area for a possible dip trade here. I'm still obviously long bias on this name, so long as it trades above the volume weighted average price. That is kind of my little gimmicky rule there for these small cap gappers. So we'll keep an eye on STEC. I'll be a lot more interested, quite frankly, if it is to be able to get to a buck and hold above a buck. Changes the nature of that trade fundamentally. We'll keep an eye on that. So as you can see here, we've got the small cap gappers kind of charts here, but there is a whole lot that has changed since I put these on there. Spray, SPRY, no longer tradable under my system, is broken down below 1550, below VWAP. So is TTMP, bottom left of your screen right there, breaking down as we speak, below VWAP and below the halt level at 1150, coming into 11 bucks. This one's screaming to the downside. Watch out for TTNP. We have ALLG. This one, look, the range per candle is prohibitive. I don't like it, but doesn't mean that it's not tradable. It's still very much respecting the volume weighted average price and has done so since about 5 to the hour. So we're going on 35 minutes of every single wick down into VWAP has gotten bought up. You're not getting much in the way of an up move though, sadly. So this one's still kind of, zigging and zagging with VWAP, but respecting it nonetheless. Let me give you the deets. 61% up on the day, 6.5 million shares traded, $463 million market cap with a 228 million share float. And let's bring down Trade Ideas. We're not going to shout out the Nos Boss every time we do this, Adara. So we're just going to say, nothing. 12.9% of the float there is shorted. So a bit of a larger short float. This one could move a little bit. ALLG. The one that I really like, though, is Redfin, because it's not really a small cap gapper, and Indo, INDO. So we know about Indonesian energy. It's not a new one for the small cap gapper traders, as it's shown up multiple times over the last few weeks on my scanner. Let's start with Redfin. It is the name I know less about, RDFN. Let me give you the deets on this. So this is probably $1.17 billion company, 6.8 million shares traded, up 10%, above the volume weighted average price, kind of putting in what might resemble to some as a skewed Head and Shoulders with that big bulbous head going into 984, but still trading above the volume weighted average price. For now, it is coming down into it. Here comes that 950 touch. That's exactly where VWAP is, right at 950. Looks like an inverse hammer candle. We'll have to see if it can hold that level. And let me just check the short float real quick on Redfin, RDFN. It is 16.85%, certainly not a negligible amount with 116 million share float, says Trade Ideas. Last but not least here, before we send it back to Adara, INDO, Indonesian energy. Let me just make sure that there's no headline for this one today. Sometimes it trades without headlines. Yeah, today would be one of those days. No headline today, but up 18.8%, $34 million market cap. Less than a million shares traded today. We're still in the high 800s, and I'll remind you about that this is a 4.8 million share float, and the short float is negligible, about 2.5% here, Adara. Really respecting the 10 exponential on the 5, INDO in play.
Yeah, just took my first trade of the day. Like I said, I'm really trying to be more patient here and waiting for my setups. And it just happens that my setups require a lot of risk because they are both, they're like the Gucci of stocks. They're a little bit more expensive. So all that aside, I did take a scalp here on SPY, and this is like, I'm trying to take more things like playbook, like my type of trades, right? So Happy with this SPY scalp. I like whole dollar breakdowns. We had a whole dollar breakdown in the SPY, 558. Didn't work out. I risked into that 558.20 area that we're currently trading around because that to me was a clear shelfish area. I was like, if we get above that shelf, I want to get off the shelf, get out of this trade. We got above that shelf. I got off that shelf. Bless you. Bless you, Sharif. One thing too that I've said that I think is like really key. I have found that the only time I have success in SPY trades are if I scalp them, only scalp, off whole dollar levels. Or B, like whole dollar breakdowns, whole dollar breakouts, or B, if there's a level I've watched a lot in the book that I like. So with that being in mind, happy with that breakdown. That being said, this 558.20 hold is crazy. So if we now break above out here, look at that move up here in that 48s. You could risk that into those 30s, risk that into risk like 25 pennies max. And you take that break up, what do you have potentially to take profit? 559. That was another level I really liked. I said to Sharif,
yep.
I had a level in the SPY, I wasn't able to trade it. And Sharif takes one look at the SPY chart and he goes to me, was it 559? Because he knows what types of stuff I like, right? So if we have that nice bounce here, if we hold that 550, 558.50, I'm totally cool risking like max 25 cents for a 50-cent move. That's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I can more than live with that. I can thrive with that. That being said, yeah, like I said, sorry I have not been taking any more trades here, guys. I'm really just trying to focus on the setups I like. There's one that did happen that I was looking at earlier as a potential setup that I didn't get involved in just because I didn't have the right entry point. I wasn't looking at the right moment. And that is, shout out to Vicky Novak, that's an NVIDIA long. Also, one brown chick in the chat, Bostic actually does not speak here until 1:35. So you've got about, honestly, 2 hours on the dot till you see the boss man, Bostic, take the stage. This is video long though. I love these higher lows here with that 127.60 resistance. We break above that and we fly. I should have gotten long there, but I didn't really want to risk 30 pennies into a level I wasn't really sure I'd get. That was my biggest thing yesterday. NVIDIA, I tried that 127 short, didn't quite work out. Like I managed it appropriately, but it's like I was taking that. I should not have been risking with the size I was taking for without a very clear area to potentially take profit. So with that in mind, I don't really want to get back and I don't want to get involved in that NVIDIA unless I see another retest of that 127.60. A level I had in NVIDIA that I loved, and I said this to Sharif in the morning. All this rejection here with these lower highs below 130. I love that short.
Oh, yeah.
That short was like, oh, cool, Dara. I'm going to happen like way before you start trading. So good luck that. The point I'm trying to make is sometimes you have plans and those plans already happen before you could even have the opportunity to trade. You know, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after glay, to use like the very old English pronunciation of it. But we'll see what happens. I'm still looking to see what Lilly does at 950 because I see those higher lows. I think it's a long if we hold 950. SMCI, I can't say it properly anymore with the SPCE. I blame Sharif.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking. It's all good. If SMCI does something interesting here at 610, I am interested in SPCE there. But yeah, again, I'm also interested in hearing what you guys are looking at. So vote, let us know, get in that chat, exclamation point, join, space, $, with whatever ticker you like. Do you want to see Sharif gesticulate wildly on the green screen? Do you want to see Sean and Neil talk about the ticker you want to look at? And also, guys, don't just vote for the Max 7s, okay? We want to see some other stocks. What about Lumen? Lumen has that great breakout, Lumen. I want to show an Easy Trader again. Not a stock I would trade, but so happy I got to see that because that is one of the cleanest charts I've ever seen. So if there's anything you have conviction in like that, let us know. Get in that here chat, and so we can say what our verdict might be on your trade. Yeah, chung. But yeah, right now, SPY actually gave me that 550.50. I missed that a little bit. Yeah, I'm right about these stocks, but if that has a nice little fall there and holding that 550.50, I do like this here, and I do like as Lilly curls higher. Wow, it's so. These markets are so fun, Sharif. Isn't it great that we get to be here every single day?
I love it. Of course.
I love it. Good times.
All right. I want to talk a little bit here about what's going on in the future because, look, we made another new high. So we held on at exactly the same level here, Fabian, or Ram, it's Fabian on the 110-2. Shout out to him. 70.60. That was a level on the TQQQs that we were talking about, the consolidation area. We come right down there, and now we're at 71 again. But here's the thing. I'm charting on the NQ September contract, executing on the TQQQs. I'm a little confused as to what this market is doing. I just looked over the Katina Man, and I readily admitted I don't have a read on the general market and the Mag 7. And here's the reason. You've got the dead one breaking well above VWAP, coming into that $0.75 level. And then you've got, we're whiffling and waffling here on the future. We're above 19.8, but below VWAP. And we're not in an area of any, technical resistance right now on the future. We're in no man's land. It was 18.10 and 19.810, as that level that I was charting for a possible area of resistance. And then the next level of resistance is going to be VWAP, which right now is at 19.840. So I don't know what we do at these levels. It looks like we topping tailed through this area resistance right now. Let's see if we continue. It looks like we're getting bought back up. So you have likes of NVIDIA at the volume weighted average price knocking on the door of 128. VWAP happens to be almost basically right at that whole dollar level. So I'm really unsure what to do. You've got Meta negative. You've got Amazon negative. Softies just marginally positive. Same thing with Google. Tesla, obviously, negative on the day. So is NVIDIA. So I really don't have a read, quite frankly, on these Mag 7 names. I think that the best thing to do is to trade off the future. I feel like I have a better better feeling or better comprehension of the price action today on the future. If we can get up into VWAP, 19.840, I want to see how we trade around there, but right above 19.840 and above the 50 point area is 19.858, and that's yesterday's closing print. We break above that, we go green. So, a lot of different levels we need to account for here, and from what my observations have been, I don't have a great read, and I'm feeling like this might be a fake out breakout. And here comes Apple, a couple of topping tails right now, both on the future through that 19.810 break and on Apple a little bit here as it breaks through that $0.50. So I'm unsure exact. I don't have the best, just every day you sit down, you do this over and over again. Sometimes you have a good feeling about the levels that you have. Sometimes you're like, I'm flying blind. Right now, I feel like I'm flying blind a little bit, just based on where we are.
Boeing steal your pilot goggles?
They canceled the 777X, Adara. Oh.
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, no, it's been a tough time to be a Boeing investor, to be a Boeing fan. I consider myself a Boeing fan, but it's been tough. A hard row home. Getting back into this analysis here, I was talking to Big Spile on the gram earlier, and he had a big boy short in TSLA. I told him, "What's the look here, Big Spile?" Big Spile wanted 215. He wants all sorts of blood today on TSLA, and he got 2 1956s. Let me know how that short is going, Big Spile. Looks like you're still well in the money off that, because Tesla went green to red in a very big way today, 228.20, and then we dropped almost $10, 219.56, the low of day at the moment. Still don't have a read, guys. I feel like we're in no man's land here on the future, and I'm unsure what to do. I've been staring at NVIDIA as I've been talking, because now that's 2 5-minute candles that have rejected off the volume weighted average price. Katina, man, are you still taking that bad boy short, or what's the sitch? NVIDIA. I'm short NVIDIA. The Katina man is short NVIDIA at these levels. He's not doing anything, and that's what we just literally finished saying. Basically, 2 topping tails through 128 and VWAP, but no continuation there on NVIDIA. I don't know. I just feel like it might be a short to pop kind of day. We know that Dan the Man Emmons still holding his short. I think he is anyway, unless he covered it since he told me last. Let's flip back to some of these small cap gappers, see if we can get a better read. INDO, man. Why am I not trading INDO? Every single dang retracement on the 5-minute has respected the 10 exponential moving average. My only beef with INDO is it's a little light on volume on the day. Right now, let's see, what's this bad boy trading at? We're less than 1 million, man. We're still at 950,000. Get it, Katina, man. Let me look at that NVIDIA short. Let me flip over here. And there it is. There it is. 25 penny winner, probably more right now, as it does reject that 128 VWAP level. Shout out to him. Sticking with the conviction, baby. NVIDIA rejecting VWAP. What's a look at there?
Yeah, I mean, I was in a SPY long. Obviously, it didn't work out. But hey, SPY, you want to be a shorty? You guys know I love those whole dollar breakdowns in the SPY right now. It's really trying to waffle. Okay, now we broke below. Let's get that short here. I'm going to be doing this based on the book. If I see anything like kind of dicey here heading back into 558s, I'm getting out. But this definitely took on conviction. Basically, like I said, I tried the long at 558.50. As we careened violently to the downside, I should have gotten out way faster than I did. I'm not even going to lie here. But I was like, you know what? Like, let's wait. Let's see. Let's be patient. The second we broke below 30s, things got violent. I left here. I did end up losing about like 10 pennies more than I wanted to, so that's a little bit unfortunate for that risk. But like I said, I was risking. I had like levels on this, so I was willing to take it for a little bit longer. S&P 500, we're about 5 pennies out of the money here. I think if we break decisively back below that 558, I think this thing falls. We have now had lower highs consistently. Look how many times we've wicked into that 558.70 area and we've rejected. This is the only name I've traded on the day so far. My levels on Lilly and SMCI I have not set up yet. But that being said, if they do, I mean, we've got SMCI. SPCE. I'm just going to call it SPCE. Yeah, I can't.
There you go.
I can't say that the normal way anymore, Sharif. I'm joking. But if SPCE gets into that 602 and breaks down, that's going to be the short of a lifetime. I want to make sure I have enough risk for that, so I don't want to like get all willy-nilly into the SPY. That being said, this is the type of trade I love to take, so I wanted to be involved with some size here in that SPY breakdown. I think if we break below into these like areas we wicked into that 557.80s, I think the SPY's a wrap. The downside, so I'd be pleased. Okay, SPY, let's get down here. SPY falling, we got Qs falling below support. Let's go market. Okay, it's exciting times. We also have Lilly heading towards 944. Like I said, I like that 944 level. I was more interested initially in taking it as a long off a bounce of 944, but hey, with these markets falling down, we might even break below. We had Dan Emmons too say he's still short CS going sub at 19.6 today. So Dan Emmons sees those Qs going to the downside. SPY briefly breaking below 558, now coming back here. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily get what I want here, but I do like these lower highs. Now we're rejecting 558.10s. That's a good look for me. If we break above 558.10s, I'll get out. I know initially I was saying I'd be interested in 558.20s, but as we have lower highs, I have to react to said lower highs. Okay, we were pushing back above here in the S&P 500, so that's going to be an out for me. But I had fun attempting that trade. What else are you guys looking at? Fubo, says Cade. Let's see what Fubo's doing here. Fubo is on the NY, I believe. Yo. See what we can do with Fubo. So Fubo is, in fact, on the NY here. Oh, Fubo around the $1.80 level. That was kind of a level that popped in and out. Oh. Okay, so volume on Fubo, not great today. We've certainly fallen off from our highs. Current volume candle here around like 42,000 shares. But look at the way we've bounced here off view up. Higher highs, higher lows. I think if we can reclaim that $1.82 level, we had some chop and turn, that'd be a nice look. But I know the $2 level on Fubo and a lot of these stocks, those whole dollar levels are going to be super key. Now, is Fubo in any? Oh, okay. This might actually be a bit of an issue for Fubo because Fubo was the area we kind of had some petering out here into the close, that 182. Then we careened violently off the open, but we did hold, mind you. Slightly below, but pretty much previous day support around that 170, so not a bad look. I think if we can push back above into that 186 area, that's not a bad look at all for Fubo. A little bit of support and resistance, flip and flop around in that area. So let's see what happens here. Hamster one saying, I don't want to be the party pooper, but this is just another buy the dip. It's not going to tank yet. Could be a fair point. We still have the SPY here above 558, and the Qs actually recovering quite nicely there. Let's pull up the TQs or just the normal Qs at this level. We've got the Qs here trying to push back into that 480 level. Okay, yeah, it's interesting. I'll switch to the 5-minute because that is the level I was looking. Yeah, so look at the Qs here. More or less holding support at 479.16. Actually going to go to bottoming tail candle here on the 5-minute chart. So Hamster, you might be right about this pushing higher. Joe McFarland saying I should rap. You know, I rap for fun sometimes. I don't know. I can maybe spit some bars occasionally. I do enjoy rap music, that is for sure. But I also enjoy having everybody vote in the chat for the tickers of their choice. Get in the chat, ! join, space, $, whatever tickers are fancy. I think what's really interesting too, I'm going to shout out Raider Trader for being confident enough to say this. When he came on the show last week, he said, watch out for maybe some move down here in the market as we head into August 20th to 30th. Guess what day it is today, guys? August 20th. So Raider Trader knew. We also have the S&P 500 here pushing below 558. Again, I want to shout out Raider Trader having the confidence to say that. We did have, you know, all that strength in the market, and he was like, I think there's going to be something in the water on August 20th. And alas, we have that move down. So shout out to that. He said, watch out the put call ratio. So that's certainly something to be aware of. Wow, the SPY at that 558 breakdown, I was not involved. I don't mind getting out. I said I didn't want to risk that much in this trade. I already took 2 L's on the SPY. Now I've taken 3. I'm going to be waiting for, honestly, like I said, no levels in anything I like right now, so I don't want to force myself into anything. However, of all the things I've been charting, something's coming into a level, and that's SMCI. Okay. Now, will SMCI come to 602? I have no idea. I can't predict the future. I just see what the charts do. We're bouncing off 606. That's obviously a level. The way that also might be worth playing it, if we have that breakdown of that support around 479.50s on the Qs. As you get short 606, you risk getting to that 608 area, then you try to get that 602 breakdown. So that's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I can live with that, but I don't have enough confidence to get involved just yet. To be clear, I'm not getting involved out of fear. I'm not getting involved because there's nothing screaming at me to trade it yet.
Bang.
Once something screams at me to trade it, the SPY did, lost in those trades, happy it took all of them. Quite honestly, could have managed the first one, or I think could have managed the second one better, but you know what? That's what trading is about. It's about aggressively journaling and aggressively learning every single day. And it's about hearing what made Sharif give that really nasty face to Amazon. I am pleased as punch for you. Amazon punk, what are you doing here, Sharif?
That's amazing. I love it, Adara. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like...
Well, I got Amazon. I entered long here at the low of day, and there's a reason for that. It's because we had defended the low of day quite aggressively today on the Zon, 177.50. I looked over at the 5 minute, and I said, look, you got to defend at 1040. You got another defend 1125, 1130, yada, yada, yada. You guys get it. So I'm like, okay, there's obviously a buyer of import around this 177.50-ish area, sometimes a little higher, but that really wasn't the point. The point was someone was buying up a storm at that level. So I said, Sharif, get involved. Obviously, true to form. I never got the right price that I wanted. I got in the 60s. I believe I got 62s. And then we wet our beak at 82s because I'm born in 82 and I like that year. So we'll keep going with... Yeah.
Stand by,
right? Anyway, so a 20 penny banger, super quick on the Zon. Nothing to write home about or journal about aggressively because it was, you know, not a bad trade, not a great trade either, but when we do have one of those aggressive journal type trades, I will obviously let you know. Nothing on the docket so far. Guys, I still feel like I don't have a read on this market. And that's because the future is whiffling and waffling. But you know what? We did get that fake out. I'll call it a fake out breakout because that's exactly what I thought it was. This area here on the future, I'm all eyes and ears at this area. And when we breached it aggressively over here, getting up into 19,830, I thought we would have cleared it. It shows you that, you know, I shouldn't have been quick to call that. I should have been looking at the closing print on the candle because no closing print has really breached this area with any aggression. Sure, you're getting a wick or two into that area, but you're still not getting the closing print above it. But now, that's the bearish side. The bullish side of the analysis is you're putting in incrementally higher lows on each successive trough on the 5 minute on the NQ September contract with this flat top. Let's call the flat top 19,818, whatever it is, okay? It's just obviously somewhere around here in the price action. So if we get this incrementally higher low, we're looking for an ascending wedge flat top break. It doesn't always happen that way, but sometimes it does. Now, what I'm not inclined to do at any point in this area is use the 100-point level as an area of support and resistance. It's shown you its propensity to absolutely disrespect the 100-point level as an area of support and resistance. It's zagged above, below, no real respect at all for 19.8, excuse me. So I'm not going to be using the 100-point level as an area of support and resistance. What I want to see, though, is whether we can close above this area on a closing basis. Elusive is that goal at the moment. We'll see if it does come back in. You're getting likes of goggles here coming right back into that volume-weighted average price. That'll be the first time it touched VWAP since essentially breaking down below it at around 10.15. You're also getting NVIDIA coming back in to VWAP. We saw the Katina man kill it on that short. He had like about 75 penny banger there on NVDA. But look at this, much like my analysis on the future, higher lows here on NVIDIA with this flat top at around 128-ish. It's really the whole dollar and VWAP here that's holding us below that level. And then right above that area, we have that 128 1/3, which is kind of that area that I was basing my futures analysis on. That's kind of the equivalent area here on NVIDIA, a bit higher up than the one on the future. So NVIDIA curling back up into the volume weighted average price. Google curling into it as well. Looks like Softy's making an attempt here. And Amazon, I paper-handed this trade. Okay, so this one breaking through the whole dollar level on its way to possibly going into the $0.25 or the fifth of a dollar. If it does, it goes green on the day. AMZN, 178.20 is the closing print from yesterday. Printing 06 is now. Yeah, should have held on to that one a little bit longer. Another paper-handed trade by me. Google as well coming into VWAP. I want to see if we can clear this area. Nothing's changed in my analysis. We're still below this area here on a closing basis. I want to see us break above it, and then we can maybe change our tune here and start getting some aggressive longs, possibly to the high side. Peter Baljeet Jr. saying BT, when you were talking a lot about this morning, you and I off camera, Adara, was an earnings winner. You reported on it as well when we talked about crypto. Here is BT, a cool, a nice and easy 22.5% up on the day. Let's put in the ticker so everyone can follow along. This is one that I've had my eyes on for like 4 or 5 years. It's part of my crypto watch list. I'll give you the deets on it. It is a $541 million market cap, so it's not a small cap gapper, and it's traded a healthy amount of shares today, about 17.5 million, and the float on it, it says 120 million shares here. Let me make sure that that's right. Let's bring down trade ideas and see what the sitch is. Yeah, 120 million shares, and it's got a healthy short float, 18.33%. Of that 120 million shares is shorted. We can absolutely get some great movement with that kind of short flow to Adara. So I'm going to keep my eyes on BT. 3 3/4 HOD. Definitely having trouble though on its latest ascent here, breaking that 70 penny area. I want to see what it does at the 10 exponential. Peter Baljeet, because I want to be able to base my trades on something, and I love using these moving averages or areas of obvious support and resistance. So we'll watch this one trade, but I think this one's absolutely in play. Thank you for calling it out.
Yeah, shout out there to BT. Yeah, Bitfarms has been a bit interesting there after that earnings report. Also, we have the market pushing higher, and I have my eyes on Lilly. If we're going to push higher in the market, look at these higher lows. I said I'd go long 944s. We didn't even get to 944s. We bounced off 945s. You know what I call that? Bullish. I think the bulls are putting their little horns in there. I don't know what that was. But the point I'm trying to make is I don't want to hop into a long on Lilly. That is not the vibe. We've held up this 948 really well, so I'll risk into 948, and I'd like to get long should we push above 950s and hold. Last time we tried to wick above into 950, we pushed back lower. I'll be watching to see what we do.
I'll be watching.
I'll be watching. Every penny you move.
That's so true, because that's what we do.
Every level you take out.
Oh, baby.
Every trade I make, I'll be watching you. Yeah, so sorry guys for singing there. That got really quiet too in the floor. I don't love that. But I do love Eli Lilly here. As we push higher, I will be watching it, and I will continue
Get it, Neil.
to sing to it. Lilly targeting for me today, 950.67 says Vikyan Novak. I do think that is potentially possible here. That's definitely an area where we had a little bit of resistance. I'd be watching it here at 960s. I'm cool taking $10, risking $2 on Lilly. Like, I act like I'm in the trade, yet I'm not. But all of my weird singing side, I'm not going to police this trade too heavily. Shout out there for that pun, for I'll be watching you. I'll wait to see what it does at this level. Let's see what happens. Neil Roberts saying, gotta have some fun. I couldn't agree more, and I think that's one of the best parts of this show and this community is we really like, we're all family here.
Oh, yeah.
All of this report, you know, I'm really like singing at Sharif off camera. We're really punning off camera, so great community there. Neil Roberts clarifying only Adara, guess, for carrying a tune. I guess I try a little bit there. Also, someone was asking if my name was Adara or if there was a stock named Adara. I am Adara. If there's a stock Adara, that'd be dope. But as far as I'm aware, it is just me. That didn't sting, says Dar. Oh, okay, great pun there. I love these puns. We had Gaurav asking about Palantir. Palantir pushing into 32s here. I actually had eyes on this Palantir earlier, and I didn't take it because I find I am not particularly adept at trading Palantir. I think we had these higher lows. We then pushed above 31.85, but watch out. NVIDIA looked really, really similar, and it took its sweet time to break above VWAP. And NVIDIA also, I would say, had a bit of a clearer level with VWAP. VWAP was actually a whole dollar level as well here for NVIDIA, that 128. That's not the case with Palantir. So NVIDIA, to me, that's a bit more of an exciting breakout. I'd watch out for that Palantir, though, as we nudge our head into VWAP. But I really do not want to take my eyes off of my girl Lilly for too long as Lilly does that beautiful push. The other stock I liked that I know I haven't talked about in a while, someone said long SMCI. Super micro at 607. I think that might have been the level to get long. Super micro, that 610, I feel a lot less good about than I did earlier and than I feel about Lilly. And that's because we've gotten a little waffly around that 610. And we sold off pretty violently at that 613 in a way that we didn't see in the rest of the market at the time. But with Lilly pushing into 950s, I am going to have to see if I can get a bit of a move up here on the Lilly'd one. I think risking $2 on Lilly is something that makes sense if I'm trying to make, like, you know, honestly, I think we can get minimum 956s. Like I said, I like 960s. So that's a risk to reward ratio I can live with. We did just sell off a little violent. I mean, it's Lilly, it was not that violent. I'd like to see us hold 948s here. Let's see what happens. Let's see what occurs. Kelly Ortberg, 199 super chat. Can you check Boeing in your DMs? That's pretty funny. I know there's a joke. Everyone thinks I'm in love with Kelly Ortberg, the CEO of Boeing. All I said was he looks good for a man that's in his 60s. He looks young. That's all the joke was about.
This is so good.
Honestly, guys, I am not in love with Kelly Ortberg. I will ride this joke because it is really funny. But to me, I like these higher lows here at Boeing. I don't even know if you want to look at Boeing, Kelly Ortberg in the chat, but we will anyway. Boeing's had a bit of issues there. The 787 Dreamliner is apparently a nightmare liner because now they're having some issues with those as well. We know there was an issue with JD Vance and the plane that had to advance, I guess, to the ground a little bit. There's some issue with the door, I think, there. But Boeing, 135.70, 173.50, third time's the charm, Madeira. I like this chop and turn that we had here before we quit into the downside. If we can push back above and clear that level on VWAP, I like this look as well. Neil Roberts saying I'm too good for him. I think I'm also maybe a good 4 decades too young for him. But shout out there to Kelly Ortberg in the chat and Real Kelly. Hopefully that you're able to push Boeing back to the upside. Eddie R saying couldn't wish for a better pun session. Yeah, I mean, it's been a fun day. I can't believe we're only 1 hour into the show.
I know.
Time flies. I've literally traded one ticker all day, and it's just been the SPY. But hey, Lils, I see you. I won't get up for lunch if you hold that 950. Okay, I do want to eat, so we'll watch Lilly here. What are you doing?
Adara, as you were talking, and a great analysis there on everything, the market was really pumping.
I know.
Yeah, the market really did change its tune a little bit, but we still have a major hurdle to get over if the longs want to take over, and that's this thin white horizontal line over here hanging out at 19,857. We've cleared, in my humble estimation, this area trough that was holding us back for the better part of 20 minutes. It didn't look like VWAP really factored in as an area of resistance on this here future, because we blew through that without any regard for it at all. It's this level that I have my eye on, the one we're coming into right now. That is the border between green and red on the day. True to form, some selling comes in there, likely some profit taking, as well as some shorts trying to get in at a key area of resistance. We'll have to watch to see if we can clear that level. The move up here on this here market really had some of the Mag 7 moving a little bit higher. Chief among them, Meta. Look what Meta did. It just got off the schneid there, was red for the majority of the morning, and now back in Greensville up 0.25%. The dead one, Apple, also ascending here as a result of this latest pump up on the future, breaching 227 again, still well below not well below, still below 227.17, the high of day and the IB high. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons that we put in earlier, a bit of a double top there. That could have been, very interesting for the bears, who could have basically based a trade off that double top, and that next candle there, right at 10 a.m. gave you what you were looking for because it dropped about $1. But nonetheless, we're at 227 again. We put in a higher low. Look at this. This is the IB low right here. Okay, so we get into that 225, and then that latest trough that we had that came in at 11:15, well, that based out at 225.75 or 225.8, depending on whether you're using the print or the wick. Anyway, rejecting off 227 again. Topping tail possibly incoming here. Not sure if this is a short. Don't want to stand in front of this market. Want the future to resolve in a way that I can basically gauge it, which is whether we are rejecting the closing print, staying right on the day, or what the deal is. So far, it looks like we are rejecting about 15 points or so off that level, and the market really reacting to that as well. Apple a little bit off the highs, softy breaching VWAP as well. yeah, it's still kind of no man's land here, man. For some of these Mag 7 names, I am not taking trades on these Mag 7 at these levels. I just don't have a read. I guess the one trade here would have been shorting Meta at this level. Okay, or it's kind of the same look at Apple. When you get into 227, this 531, you have 10 minutes of whiffle and waffle at this 531. Generally area, that was the IB high as well at around 955. And now you got a bit of a drop off that. But, you know, just doesn't seem like anything sustained. Yeah, so we'll have to pack our patience and see here. What are you giggling about?
You see Trenta, Ticker the Trading Turtle in the chat, hashtag Kadera. I guess that's me and Kelly. Trenta, what are you rooting for here, Trenta?
Wow, I mean,
that was why I was laughing. Also, Shopify had some news. Thank you, Darwin, for letting us know. TechCrunch is reporting that YouTube is expanding Shopify to compete with their TikTok shop. So there's apparently some Shopify YouTube collaboration. This still kind of in a downtrend, even that volume pop sort of.
Thank you. Yeah, Dara, that's always important. Yeah, interrupt me whenever. Yeah, so that's a look. Let's flip to some of these small cap gappers. See if anything's afoot here, Fabian. Let's see if anything is going on. INDO breaking down now below the 10 exponential. And we were waxing poetic to use an Adara term about how well this one was respecting the 10 exponential essentially since 10:05 a.m. Now it is kind of doing that rounded top, coming off a little bit. Let's see what it does with 3 1/4. I'm still hesitant to trade INDO, despite the fact that I've traded in the past. It's really light on volume today. It doesn't usually have a headline, but as someone astutely pointed out in the chat, it always has a headline because we always have issues in the Middle East, it seems like, which obviously being from the Middle East, I don't really like that. But that's the look. INDO, not really tradable for me at the moment because, well, the volume's not there and it's neither at the 10 or at the 20. So not taking any trades off that. I'm really sorry, guys. I usually have a bit more to trade and things to enter, but I'm just not sure and I don't have a solid read on this market. I can admit that to myself. Let's look at some other stuff here. What do you guys want me to look at? What are you guys trading? Darwin says PayPal because of NBC. Who's buying PayPal now on NBC? Was it Josh Brown or is it, I don't know.
Imagine one day it's Michael Batnick and not Josh Brown.
He's never on CNBC.
That would be a plot twist, though. If we get like a compound pump and we're like, who is it? And it's,
I love it.
And it's Michael Batnick.
Yeah.
That'd be a plot twist.
I'd be okay with that.
That's all I gotta say.
Shout out to the Batnick, man.
Hey.
He's a good dude.
Batting 1,000.
Oh, you know, he used to be the main research guy for Josh Brown. And then he kind of got upgraded. There's another guy that does all the research.
Yeah, Josh or whatever. Or no, Josh, Sean, the guy they're always yelling at. Yeah.
So
that's pretty funny.
But they're all doing real well over there. Obviously, yeah. All right. So let's look at here's the deal with PayPal, by the way. In case you're wondering, JP Morgan here, Fabian, giving them the nod today, maintaining their overweight rating. I'm not sure what the price is. $80. So there is a look, bumping that up a whole $3, Darwin, from 77 to 80. So shout out to them. Good look today for PayPal. Nothing to disrespect about this trade, but off the high, 72.5 is the high of the day. Let's see where it's trading at right now. PYPL at around 71 3/4, well above the volume weighted average price. Yeah, not respecting the 10 exponential either, and VWAP, and a gnarly looking topping tail. Don't want to get involved in that kind of topping tail. What's going on there? Breaching 72, then dropping a whole 50 pennies quick as you like there. So we'll keep tabs on PYPL. Obviously in play today. It seems like it's up 3%. Joshua Lee Mallory, member for 1 month. Thank you for being a member. There's no point to us being here without you guys. That goes without saying. Ready for the next bullish engulfing. I like it, my man. Speak more TA to me. What's your look, Adara? Yeah,
my look is we should all look at MooMoo. Thank you very much to MooMoo for sponsoring this part of the show. Are you looking to maximize your idle cash? Earn 8.1% on idle funds for up to 3 months. Plus, U.S. users can take advantage of up to 15 free stocks and $300 in cash rewards. Hey, Canada. Hey, you're not left out. Enjoy 6% on cash balances along with an up to $2,000 commission rebate. Sign up with MooMoo to trade on extended trading hours. Trade 4 a.m. to 8 p.m., well beyond regular market hours. Whether you want to react to pre-market news, cash after hours earnings, or simply manage your portfolio with more flexibility, MooMoo has got you covered. maximize your portfolio, your trading potential, and stay ahead of the curve with extended trading hours. For more details and the full term and conditions, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Thanks to MooMoo for sponsoring this portion of the show.
MooMoo.
Wow, I feel like Tired Adara Trading Brain just hit mid-ad read, so shout out very much to MooMoo. Also, Tesla, I was watching 223 to see if it would do something for me. We were holding 223.20 for a bit there, and I know I've said what I like looking for in some of these scalps is what it does at like a certain cent level. So if it holds a certain cent level and then flips from support to resistance, maybe I'll take it at that level and then I'll risk it into the whole dollar if it's a short, or I'll take it into the whole dollar as a long, right? Risk below, depends on what's happening here. But Tesla doing something interesting at 223. By something interesting, I mean it's actually holding it really well. So I want to have eyes on that. The other level, I like on Tesla is 226. I mentioned a while ago 226 being interesting in the daily chart. Took a short to that effect. And look, from last week fall, Sharif. Look at this chip chop, quadunk at 226. 226, if we get back on Tesla, I will be tempting that in some which way, shape, form. The Piper in the chat saying moo. So yeah, I guess MooMoo there. Shout out to MooMoo for sure. Shout out to Doja Cat. That song was great. That Doja Cat song, Moo, that got me into Doja Cat. Ooh. Like Doja Cat. Also, it was just cool too because she said, the whole song was she just happened to be wearing like cow ears or something, and she was sitting at her her keyboard to record, and then like she just came up with Moo. So shout out to Doja Cat. Shout out to MooMoo. Shout out to Eli Lilly. I know, guys, I apologize. I know I've only been in one name. The only name I've been in is the SPY. I traded the SPY according to my plan, lost on all three trades. I want to point out as well, I think this is a really good point there from Quantran saying that, this is a while ago, but just saying that, these flat bottom breaks are not really going to work unless you kind of take them below the break as kind of evidenced by my SPY trades. I think that's fair. The other thing too, though, and I think why the second trade worked out a lot better is A, we'd watch that breakdown below, and B, like I said, my SPY playbook, I have two plays in my SPY playbook. One of them is whole dollar breakdowns, and the other one is previous levels I watched. So I had that both times. I had much more confidence with the second SPY short. Only lost about 10 cents on that. This is what I was risking. So I want to echo that with these whole dollar breaks. With these flat bottom breaks, you definitely want to make sure the flat bottom break has something to actually break below. That being said, I watched it enough times. That's why I felt confident with it. I wanted to address that because I think that's a really good point. That is something I learned, but I think the reason it went better the second time is because I had a lot more levels on it beyond just the flat bottom break. So again, to be clear, still lost on it, but I had more confluence. So speaking of confluence, we know I love that 559 level. 559, if you want to bounce on SPY, I will take you as a long, and I would like to scalp you. So I don't want to take another losing short trade on this stock, but if that stock wants to hold that level, I'd be intrigued. And apparently I will be needing to sip on some caffeine because that tired brain was like, hi, Adara, I exist. Really quick, fast, all of a sudden. Also, AMD kind of rangy, so I want to keep an eye on that here. AMD hanging out at that 157.50. You might be like, oh, by hanging out, what do you mean hanging out? Hanging out above, hanging out below? Hanging out. Hanging out. Look at this. Every time we try to break above 157.50, AMD's like, do I have to, though? Is that a thing I'm required to do? Am I contractually obligated? Like, just because you're wearing a purple suit, Adara, doesn't make you Lisa Sue. I don't listen to you. And I'm like, okay, AMD, I see you. I hear you. I don't want to get involved in this because I don't really have a clear stop level if I get long this 157.50. That being said, I like the higher lows. I like that double bottom, which actually is crazy strong here, 156.20s. But I don't feel as good about it as I feel about my Lilly. So again, I do apologize. I've only been in one stock all day. I've only had 3 trades, but I do have levels on Tesla. I do have levels on Lilly. Depending on which of those hits first, if either, I'll get involved in Tesla. Saying hi to me at the 223.21s. We'll see if that does something for me. That was a really creepy eyebrow raise. I apologize. But I see you're in one of your favorite stocks today trade here. The appled one.
I got shorted here because it's whiffling. It's waffling at 227. I was already able to take 10 pennies. My goal is a 10 exponential retracement on the 5. And that right now is sitting at 69s. My out is the break of the high of the day. In fact, it's going to be a little bit lower than the high of day. So I put my stop on the short a little bit below that 227.17, likely to take it out if it, probably below that level. So what I'm seeing is the future rejecting the break-even point on the day, Apple coming into 227 where it's rejected multiple times prior. It doesn't mean it's going to reject this time, hence why I de-risked at 85. Now we're out of the money by about 5 pennies. If it continues to go against me above that local area high. I'm Gonzino. But what I'm looking for is an area rejection on the future, and I'm looking for Apple to follow suit. I'm sorry about the wicks on the chart. I'll fix those as soon as I have an opportunity. But, you know, here's what it looks like without the distortions on the 5. I made this point to you guys earlier. We've been whiffling, waffling, doing whatever we need to do at 227. It really hasn't been, you know, getting it going though. So if it breaks above this area over here, I'm gone. That's just simple as that. And it looks like, you know, it is really going to move here. So let's see what the future's doing. Future back at VWAP. So it looks like it was a momentary dip, at least for the moment, below VWAP. We continue to move up on Apple. I'm Gonzino. We'll see exactly what we get there, and we will not get upset. This other trade, though, that just showed up. Shout out to whoever put this in the chat. And this is how short-lived these small cap gappers are. My goodness, this one couldn't even spend a hot minute above a buck. Let's see if there's a trade here. RVPH got to $1.29, just tanked off that $1.29, $1.30, right back down to $1. You've heard me yell about this multiple times. It is a different trade at $1. You can use it as resistance, and if you clear it by some distance, you can flip that to support. That's what looks like it's happening right now on RVPH. We keep getting into that dollar, someone's buying it up, but you're only moving up about a penny or two, so the buyers aren't that exuberant. You're not really getting that bounce up, but the good news is you're holding up above a buck. So we'll see exactly if this one can rebound. Right now, though, here comes a $1.05, well below VWAP, which is at a $1.11, but nonetheless holding up above $1. It's important that it does, in my estimation, hold up above $1. As I mentioned, I like to take these as support and resistance trades at the dollar level. We'll have to see if that holds up. I'll keep tabs on RVPH there, but yeah, definitely some price action stuff going on. All right, back to Apple over here. We're about 1 whole penny in the money again. Oh, sorry. Are you ready? Because I wasn't plugged in. I apologize, Neil, because I didn't hear you. All right, guys. I apologize about that. Neil is ready with his lesson of the day.
Hey, Sharif, no need to apologize whatsoever. You guys are locked and loaded. That's where you should be. Focus has to be in there. But you know what? There's a trader. There's a trader that's visiting from another office that I've known, Sean and I have known for a couple of decades in here, and had a conversation with him yesterday. Just had another conversation, made me switch what was going to be the lesson of the day. What I was going to talk about, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But what I wanted to mention today is something about when these massive, ridiculous V-shaped type days happen, you have to have a really short memory and sometimes be able to put it out of your mind. Because when you have a monster gap move, and then an immediate gap retracement, oftentimes the next thing that's going to happen is pretend that it's not there. It's a really difficult thing to do. And I have AMD up because I happen to be looking at AMD, but it doesn't really matter. I'll pull up the futures in a minute. On that ridiculous Monday where everyone's all panicked, this is your gap down. It's about $129 was the Friday support, just a little bit above that. You're all the way down, testing in the low 120s. It then gets right back up to the close at 134. Once this has happened, as a trader, as someone looking at the chart, you have to do your best to pretend that none of this is even there. And just if you wipe it from your memory and look at what was happening before, you get range bound in exactly the same range, hold the range, break out the range. Now, if not for that move to the downside, all you would see is support, resume the upward trend. And a lot of times you can either look for this and say that's incredibly bullish and we're going higher, or you can get trapped in all that panic, it's absolutely nasty. And the other thing I wanted to show you here is on the futures, when they did that and then broke out the top, like you can draw like lines of, look at this nonsense. Look at how cleanly I can draw any line I want. It's just going to show you a very, very clean angle to the upside, whether it's a NASDAQ, whether it's an ES, retrace the moves, and then you're just trending. But what's scary about that is the volume that you're going to see, relatively speaking. Like, look at this move up that we've had. Like, we're essentially, and this is the other side of it, look at the volume as we're just slowly pressing right back higher. And look at the volume when we're selling. you wonder why people are skittish about this market sometimes. It's like it's not taking a lot to get us to go to the upside, but believe me, when it gets down there and everyone's panicking, there's just buyers churning through at those big levels, and then we're rising nice and easy on light volume like it's just a hot knife through butter, and all that massive zip is like, in your face. So it's one of those things where it works on multiple time frames. I think having that short memory, like I look over, and let's go to like an AMD today. Like AMD, super strong. Big breakout through 158. Look at the upward move. Immediate retracement. So what's the first thing that you got to be able to do here sometimes? You get that Christmas tree. I don't like the term Christmas tree because it's green on one side, red on the other, but that's neither here nor there. But when you get that kind of a move, previous resistance, same resistance, like it didn't happen. And a lot of times, the more extreme the reversal move is, whether it's V-shape or A-shape, whatever the heck you want to call it, the more extreme it is, when it comes right back, I don't want to say assume the same range, but oftentimes it's like nothing happened, previous range. Pre-market high is resistance once again, and you're respecting the same lows as before, and you're just trading around them. It is such an important thing to keep in mind when you have these false breakouts, these panic bottoms. That price action, the reason why it's rejecting the way that it's going to is because there's a lack of liquidity from point A to point B. That's how a Palantir, when it retraces the 31, goes all the way into 31 and a half here. But what happens when it looks like it's breaking the low down here on Palantir? Nope. Right back up. This level, which is resistance, goes right back into being the other way. It's like nothing happened down here. Resume the trend with the same prior support. So it's a very, very simple lesson. When there's really extreme moves in the market or an individual stock that you happen to be looking at, one of the things that you want to be able to consider or be able to do, whether it's on a daily chart, look at Palantir, big V-shape, right back to the same levels, right? It held a 50 period before, ridiculous day move, crazy candle, like nothing happened, and resumes that trend. Have a short memory, because once that V-shape has happened, forget about that price. You're not getting it. It's not important. If it gets back down there again, extreme things have happened. Go right back to those previous levels that were good before. Once it's gone, go right back to whatever the previous trend was, off the previous support or off that previous resistance. I cannot say this enough, and I'm so glad we had a friend from another office come by, because there's so many opportunities like this where if you can just put it out of your head, that ridiculous extreme move, go right back to the levels that you liked the day before or the hour before it happened, you can go right back on that horse without overreacting to the volatility that you've just seen. You go right back in that pocket, trade that previous level, get it out of your mind, that V-shape. It's come, it's gone, those prices are back in your rear view. That's going to be your lesson of the day. It's a very simple one for these massive V-shaped moves, whether on a daily chart, whether on that 15-minute, whether on the futures, whether on individual stock. There's your lesson of the day, everybody, courtesy of one of the real traders here at Real Trading. Shout out to the legend.
Thank you. Shout out. Thank you very much, Neil. Eloquent, informative, and awesome as always. Around these parts, we call it Neilage, baby. Every day around that noon hour, Neil Roberts dropping hot lines. Thank you very much again for that. While Neil was dropping said hot lines, I was able to cover my Apple short. You guys heard me yell before I left there that I was shorting at 227 because of the amount of interaction that Apple had with 227. Almost like, if you want to call them different areas, almost a triple top so far today on AAPL. And I was able to cover right exactly where I wanted to at the 10 exponential on the dang 5, right at 70 or 69. I front run it by a penny, sue me, but I'm really happy with this trade. Now looks like we are weaseling possibly back up for another 227 touch. How many times are we going to hit 227 before it gets broken on a closing basis? I guess we'll find out by the end of the day. So we won't have to wait that much longer. Anyway, the future trying to hold up above 19.8. And if I can say so over here, the incrementally higher lows pattern that we've been putting no longer in its ascending wedge, mind you, because we've broken through this area, but now looks like it could be an upward channel. So here's the look. I mean, it doesn't have to be this way, but this is kind of how I'm seeing it at the moment. A bit of an upward channel in the future with an obvious level of resistance around, exactly at. Yesterday's closing price, 19,858, and down we go again into 19.8. Two things. One, do we hold 19.8? I was yapping about how I'm not respecting the 100-point levels because the price action hasn't respected it. We'll see if that changes. That's number one. Number two, does it hold this higher low situation? So the way to find out is to see if you get a break below 19,780. If you get a break below that, that's a newer low, and this whole upward channel yapping session that I've just gotten into here will mean absolutely nothing, and I do apologize. But what I want to see, again, do we hold the bottom trend line? Do we hold 19.8? If so, it could be an interesting long, or at least here on the future. Go ahead, Adara.
Okay, yeah, Lilly broke that 944. I'm going long. I'm risking this into 946s. That's a level I like. Let's see. I have no idea if I'll be able to get filled here, but I was talking to Sharif here off camera, and I was like, you know what? I really love this. I really love this trade. And he was like, wait for your level to hit. I was waiting for the break below 944. We broke below 944. Let's go to the downside. Like I said, risking $2 on Lilly, that once we broke that 946, that was a level we couldn't break earlier. Once we broke 946, I was like, cool, chill. This is a trade I've been waiting for all day. I literally have traded one other stock today. I traded SPY, and to be clear, I didn't trade the SPY as Constellation. I still like the SPY. Tried to trade in Tesla, wasn't able to get filled. But Lilly, if you move down here, this will be beautiful. I'm gonna, honestly, once this thing gets more decisively below the 940s, I'll be way happier. But like, I was waiting for that breakdown. I want to show it to Sharif as well. Thank you for like just telling me, just like wait, just chill, wait, because I was like, when that thing hits, it's gonna hit. We had that violent slam there below 944. I love that short, and I think we can get 930s. Look at that support here previously.
Realistic.
Look at that resistance. I don't think 930s on Lilly is unrealistic.
No.
That would be a 10 bag, or more than 10 bag, which would be a lot. I don't want to like shut that out, but if I'm risking $2 to try to make like 14 max, that's a risk to reward ratio I can live with. So thank you. I really appreciate that. We'll see how this goes. We'll keep you guys posted. I want to see us push to the downside. Yeah, I have no words except volatility. Let's bring it on here. And I think I also feel good about this as we do have the market here kind of coming down lower as well. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but
no,
let's see how
that's
Lilly
way
goes.
more important.
The gasp was, I guess, overwhelming there with Ms. Lilly.
As we usually say on this desk, I hope you print.
Thank you. I hope you print it always. Yeah.
So here we go. We got a beautiful double top on Meta, 531. I was looking for a hold up here at the volume weighted average price. Looks like I'll have to keep waiting because this is zigzag city. You zig a little bit wide and then you get narrow and zig. And then you get wide again. Maybe you'll get narrow again. Who knows? But yeah, very, very choppy. Let's call it that. Price action today on Meta, and you're seeing that as well on some of the other names as well. You're seeing possible double top incoming on 227 on Apple. We shorted it there for exactly that reason, but we're weaseling our way. We're trying here to hold up above the 10 candle of indecision over here on AAPL, but there does seem to be interesting, at least locally here, price action support from 1130 onwards at this $226.70 area. Sure, you've wicked below, but look at all the closing prints jiving with that wick. So interesting local areas of resistance and support here on Apple. What it does look like it's doing is stair stepping up. So what it used as previous resistance, it flips to support and vice versa. And it keeps doing that over and over. We'll have to see if 227 can give way because right now it is not. NVIDIA's coming back down, Katina, man. What a big move down. That was a breach of... He doesn't have NVIDIA anymore, but he's short AMD. The Katina man is short AMD and Tesla. Well, they're both headed down. So shout out to you there, Katina man. Printing it up on that side of the desk, and here is the look. Well, we're gonna hope you print. This is what I was talking about here on NVDA. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. I completely missed it. I was so fixated on VWAP, I completely missed this area trough from the opening. Oh, that's silly. That's silly. I gotta have more. I gotta be better with that. This 128.50, 128 and a third. Look at this area here in the pre. It comes right there. 128 and a third. It looks like it topped out at. Now you're talking 127 and a third, and we're still not done, Katina, man. It's still on the way down, breaching VWAP and a bit of a V-shaped retracement. We'll have to see if it holds up over here, but definitely breaking that higher low trend line that we had over here. Certainly that got broken. So very interesting look right now on NVDA as it gets a little bit weak here. Down 2%, but it had a monster day yesterday. So, you know, we're just giving back a bit over here. NVDA, what a monster day for it. Now, let's quick look here at the small cap gappers. Nothing is to my liking. Literally nothing. Everything is trading below levels that I would use to enter. So I'm just looking over here. I'm seeing GTI, Volkswagen GTI, baby. Those were big when I was in high school. And Katina Man knows that as well. They're still kind of good, aren't they? The Katina Man says he still might get, or the R. I don't even know that they had R's. Yeah, interesting. What? No, I didn't know. I swear to you, I didn't know. But how much? 3 for sure, twin turbo. For sure. Oh, interesting. Thank you. Yes, that was a 6 segment, pricing out cars in the midday show. But yeah, it was, Adara. We used to actually do that. We'd like go online, build a Polestar, build a Tesla, whatever it was that we were building that day.
Can we do that? Oh my gosh. Can we bring back this segment?
I'm down with it. The Katina Man likes it. But here's GTI. If I could just wax poetic about this one for a sec. This one really got going there at around 1025, but much like a lot of these small cap gappers, their life with us here is short-lived. This one, though, had a second wind, putting in higher lows all the while below VWAP, and there it is. There's the breach of VWAP. Still having trouble with that $3 area. Let me give you the deets on GTI. $425 million market cap, about a little over 2 million shares traded on the day, and about a 40 million share float. And let's find out what the short float is on it. Negligible, 0.03%. Nothing to talk about there with respect to short float. We'll have to see if it can take 3. If it can take 3, I'm all eyes, ears, and whatever else to take this bad boy along. GTI, looking good here. Apple back into 227. Are we going to short this again at 227, or are we going to finally have a long today on the dead one, Apple? Looks like it's strong and wanting to break that 227 area. We'll have to see, because right now the high of the day, I believe, is 17s. So 227 doesn't mean a whole lot. We need a new higher, and we need it on a closing basis. Eddie R, you are Jangman now. GTI days are gone for you, Jagman. Yes, I love my car. Thank you for that. But you know what my favorite car was in high school? Let me know if you remember this. The Honda CRX, the Civic CRX hatchback. Oh, yes. Those were...
That was an aggressive... Ugh, you really felt that about that car.
Adara, let me tell you, they were not expensive cars, but you couldn't find them. They were so, like, hard to get. Anyway, I don't know if anybody in the chat knows or remembers the Honda CRX, but that was like my jam back in the day. And you could put like monster subs in the back because it was a hatchback. All the stuff that young dumb punks in high school like to do, like myself. So, and waste money when you should be putting it into the market. Quite frankly, Darren.
That's a great.
What are you looking at over there?
Yeah, so it got subbed to Lilly. I have to say though, I'm proud. I handled this exactly how we needed to. We got above 946. I got out. Nope. Honestly, not going to cry over this. And I think that's what's so, and I go shout out to the Neil, because I know, I almost said the Neil, like how sure he says the Neil. But it's a Neil, because I know he and I had this conversation in the market recap with Ryan Fluna as well. You know, if you trade this thing in the sim, if you know how it moves, you shouldn't be scared to take it. I think this is great about our sim at Real Trading. Shout out to Real Trading. That being said, you know, like I said, I said this to Strafe initially, like right back in the morning. I said, if Lilly holds 944, I'm going long. The reason I went short is because we broke violently below 944, and I gasped because that breakdown was crazy violent. Like, it was like, I was like, oh. So, alas, that's why I felt good about the short for the time being. I could have risked maybe into 947s. We can't break 947s, but I didn't want to give it that much room to run. Alas, I tried it. It worked out. And honestly, the other reason I liked it as a short and not as a long is because we still had these lower highs, lower lows. The breakdown was violent. I attempted it. I'm excited to aggressively journal about it because I think the risk to reward made sense. I do, you know, I don't think that break there into 930s is out of the realm of possibility. I really don't. And because I think that's such a clear level in the daily chart. Now I'm wondering, maybe should I have tried to get short at 946? I'll never know. I mean, I will. I can journal later. But I don't want to, keep getting all excited here about Lilly. That was my level I really liked. Like I said, the only other area I'm interested in is a 950 pop. Should we get back up there? I'm going to leave her be. I'm going to leave her do her thing 21. If we see a violent move back below 944 to retest, then maybe. But I don't want to, spend all my risks there. That was one trade I really want to take. I really felt good about. I was talking about since this morning, so I tried it. No other levels on anything here. Tesla pushing lower. If we get to the whole dollar, you guys don't like the whole dollar breaks. If we get to Tesla 222, that might do something for me. SPY careening lower a little bit here. Meta still in that range that I like up to 530. When I say it's still in the range, I've been talking about Meta for the past few days, and that's not actually what I trade. So for me to be this interested in what Meta's doing actually says a lot. But Meta has a double top here at 530.80, and you guys know I was trading that Meta 528 long yesterday, or 527 long. I like this Meta in that 526 to 530 range because we know there's some support there in the 30-minute and the 15-minute. Watching out for that. SPCE, I've stopped trying to say SMCI properly. If we have that move here with these lower highs, that I like as well. But also, make sure you get in that chat. Brought to you by Real Trading. Exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever ticker you like. And guys, don't just vote for the Mag 7s. What if you're like, hey, what's SPCE doing? What's my girl Lilly doing? I don't know. What's Zim doing earnings from yesterday? Maybe I'm looking at my side chart. Boeing, what about Boeing?
Don't upset our friend Kelly Ortberg in the chat.
Whatever happens there, that's so funny. The fact there's a Kelly Ortberg in the chat. I love this community.
I love it.
And I also love confidence. I love trading, and I also love lessons. What are we doing here today, Sharif?
We're talking about the weighted moving average today. Darryl, we're going to be talking about moving averages for this week and into next, and all the derivative indicators that you can use based on moving averages. We introduced SMA and EMA to you guys. Really didn't spend too much time on that because the majority of you guys know what that is, and a quick internet search will bring you up to speed on that. Those are the most commonly used moving averages. So today I want to introduce a bit of a different topic for you guys, one that I personally didn't know anything about until I prepared the lesson. Happy I did so, the weighted moving average. So let's get right to it. So understanding the weighted moving average over here, what is it essentially? The weighted moving average, WMA for short, is a technical analysis tool, obviously, that assigns different weights to data points within a specific period. So unlike the simple moving average, which gives equal weight to all the data points contained within it, and the exponential moving average, which gives more weight to recent data, the WMA allows you to allows for custom weighting, I should say, of the data points contained within the moving average analysis. So how does it work? So the WMA essentially here calculates the average by multiplying each price by its corresponding weight, summing the results, and then dividing by the sum of the weights. So the whole point is each different data point. So if you're using a 14-day moving average, you have 14 data points, right? From day 1 to day 14. However, an exponential moving average would more heavily weight with basically a standard formula, the more recent price action, less heavily weight, the more distant price action. The SMA assigns equal weights to all of them. In this particular instance, you are able to select the days based on your criteria and the weighting that you want to assign to those days. And so it may seem a little convoluted, but I promise you by the end, it's going to make a bit more sense. So just hang tight with us here, okay? So
Thank you, Ram.
I love Ram, man. She's like, okay.
Audience participation is like Ram's middle name.
Ram's, she said, okay, so we're going with it. So higher weights essentially here are assigned, if you choose, to the more recent data points, very similar to the EMA, giving them greater influence over above the average. But you don't actually have to do it that way. And that's what we're going to show you at the end. So obviously, let's talk about some of the advantages first, and we'll talk about some of the disadvantages of the weighted moving average. So some of the advantages, we'll start with that. Better responsiveness to price changes because the WMA gives more weight to recent price data, or however you decide to structure. It can react faster to market trends than does the SMA. It's obviously here customizable. I just finished telling you that you assign the multiplier to the data points. So by adjusting the weights, or the multipliers, whatever you want to call them, traders can tailor the WMA to their specific trading style as well as market conditions. So for instance, in fast-moving markets, for example, you might have higher weights be given to recent data points for a quicker reaction there. And it's also, like with most moving averages, it obviously has the potential to smooth out the lines. It smooths them out a bit more than the SMA here because of the assigned weighting. Some of the disadvantages, though, of WMA is going to be the most obvious and glaring one, its complexity, right? Determining the optimal weights to assign to the data points can be a bit challenging here, and it requires careful considerations of both your trading style and the market conditions. The sensitivity, though, is also another possible disadvantage, especially the moving average's sensitivity to the outliers. What do I mean by that? So if you have, a more recent data, which is more volatile, it'll definitely weight that a bit more, which can lead to some false signals. So you need to be on the lookout for that. And then obviously a disadvantage of all moving averages is that they're lagging in nature, right? While WMA is generally more responsive than the simple moving average, it still lags behind price action to some extent, which can obviously impact trading decisions. So keep that in mind. So what situations would call for the use of the weighted moving average? The last here before I show you how to weight each data point, you might want to use them in fast-moving markets, right? Its responsiveness to recent price changes can be advantageous in markets with rapid price fluctuations, such as those, in Forex or in crypto. Short-term trading as well, or short-term traders, could benefit from the WMA, such as swing traders and intraday traders, because it does capture shorter-term trends a little bit better than the SMA. And it's also really good for specific market conditions. Now, this is obviously going to require some back testing and some, trials on your part after you find the correct weighting, and then you apply that in different market conditions. You're talking possibly here about a 6-month, maybe a year window before you have all the real data. It really depends on you, though. So if a trader believes that the recent price action is more indicative of future trends, the WMA can be certainly here a suitable choice. So the question that I had to myself is, how do I weight these? It's great that you can tell me that I can customize my weights, but I have no idea how to weight them. What's the move here? So this is what we're going to talk about now. So traders often experiment with custom weightings to suit their specific styles and their market conditions. Here are some examples. You can weight it based on the volume of that day. So weighted WMA. A volume-weighted WMA is what I mean to say. So instead of using equal weights like the SMA for each data point, the weight is determined by the trading volume, not the price, but the trading volume for that particular period. This gives more influence to periods with higher trading activity. You can also price-weighted. You can also have it, price-weighted. So weights are assigned based on the price level of each data point. For example, this can be useful for identifying support and resistance areas. Range weighted as well, another interesting one. Weights are based on the price range, which is essentially the high minus the low, right, for each period. This can help filter out periods with lower volatility. So if you don't want to account for the day where the dead one was dead, rather you'd like to have, a better understanding of how Apple trades once it has a bit of a higher ATR or whatever kind of volatility, a bit higher of volatility, you can exclude the days with, that don't meet your volatility threshold from being included in the weighted moving average. I think that's great. And last but not least, the custom weights based on technical indicators. So you can look at the RSI, the MACD, what were they doing on that specific day? If they did X, Y, and Z, you include them in the weight. If they didn't do X, Y, and Z, they're excluded. So many different ways you can choose to exclude or include or exclude days from the moving average so that it fits with, again, market conditions and your trading goals. So I think that's really cool. I think it's really going to take a lot of back testing and analysis on your part to really figure out a way to use it. But I think that the opportunities that presents are quite interesting. And last but not least, we want to talk about some trading strategies using the WMA. I'll submit to you that this is not a whole lot different. Okay, guys, I see CING is about to halt here because you guys have been yapping about CING in the chat. 14 1/3, it looks like it's going to halt. Finally, it just absolutely flew through 12 3/4, which was the high or was the closing print from yesterday. And it's going to halt. I think it is halted. It is halted at 14 1/3. So big boy move for CING. Excuse me. So some of the trading strategies for the WMA, trend following. right? So traders can use WMA obviously to identify the direction of the trend and enter positions accordingly. You can also use the crossovers here. So if you have a 20 WMA and a 50 WMA, you can look for the golden crosses or the death crosses in the same way that you would do that with the SMA and the EMA. Completely applicable here. Also use it for momentum trading by comparing the WMA to the price. Traders can assess the strength of the current trend and identify potential overbought and oversold areas. You often hear me talk about these small cap gappers and what the price action is relative to where the 10 exponential on the 5 is. And you'll hear me say sometimes, no, this one is way too extended from the 10 exponential on the 5. I need this one to come in before I get traded. It's too extended. So that's me basically saying it's overbought. Right? I'm not saying that in the words, and I'm not using the RSI above 70, below 30, but I'm saying that basically based on the price action where the 10 exponential is trading on the chart, it's a little too extended. In other words, it's overbought. And last but not least, you can use WMA to gauge support and resistance. So it can act as a dynamic, obviously, because it's moving. Support and resistance level. When the price touches the WMA, it might indicate a potential reversal or continuation. You'll really have to keep an eye on the price action there. So weighted moving average, very interesting here. And I want to show you how I would be able to assign the weighted moving average on my platform. So I would go into the chart studies. I'd add, you could go in here, weighted moving average. I hope you guys can see that. I'm really sorry it's small, but there it is. You add that bad boy in there, and then where is it? There, WMA, and then I can basically choose a whole bunch of different things here. The period for the, is it gonna be 14 days? Is it gonna be 20 day? The input price, do I want the close of that day, or do I want the open? Remember, we were talking about basing it on volume, basing it on the average of the high or the low. So lots of different features or different settings that you can have here for your weighted moving average. I hope that helps. And yeah, if you guys use it and you use it with success, I'd love to know, because I could be interested in using it myself here, Adair.
Yeah, shout out there to Sharif. Thank you so much for the lesson of the day there, preparing that. Not Neil's lesson of the day, mind you. You can catch, as Sharif says, around that noon hour. But an awesome lesson. You know what else to me a lesson here that I'm going to be aggressively journaling about? Lilly, breaking 944. It is always a little painful when you have the level right and you don't time it correctly. That being said, I was a lot more responsible. There's a lot more responsibility happening in this trade than what we had when I was trying to take those AMD breaks yesterday. Like, honestly, I have enough risk that if I really want this, I'll get back in, but I'm like I said, no chasing waterfalls. You especially cannot chase waterfalls when those waterfalls are $940 and up to 0.23% of the day and trading a lot more volume than they normally trade. So that being said, this violent slam we had below 944, if that comes back again, I will take it short. I will be able to risk like $1 here. We're gonna be risking this 945. It's gonna be scalpy. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be violent. But it's gonna be worth it. Because I'm, like I told you guys, like I'm not looking for, usually I say I'm here for a good time, not a long time in these trades. For Lilly, I'd wait with you all day for that breakdown. If you let me back in. Got stopped out the first time, like I said, that's fair. I understand that. I had my levels I had to get out, and I fully will respect that. But the way we're dripping down here on the book is the type of thing I've always said I really like when a spready stock does this. We had 943.40s. Then we have 943.49s. Usually these spready stocks will like gap. Like they'll be like 943.40s, 944.70s, 942. Like they move. The fact that there's a slow stream here is interesting. But now we're back above 944s on the ask. I'm going to have to wait here. I don't want to get involved right away. But it is worth noting that, this is gorgeous. I'm just going to not just sit here in FOMO and describe all of its movements here. But just know that this is the thing I will be aggressively journaling about this evening, because that was a little painful. Also, Tesla. I was in Tesla. I had a Tesla short. Okay, I have to say I'm proud of the management of this. Had a Tesla short, got in. Right when I got in, I was like, Adara, this is like kind of funky. I don't know, like with the book. But I said, we broke below the 222s. We broke below the 222s pretty nicely, violently. I was like, okay, try to short it here. Also, what's interesting, we had this level here that, look at all the support resistance flips. I was like, this could hold as support, but if it flips as resistance, that's going to be great, right? And you can take that at least into 221.50s. I was retaining to 222.30s, 222 late 20s. I want to see what we did at the book at that point. We broke above that point violently in the book. I got out. I managed this appropriately. Very Tesla pointed, however, that I didn't go back checking on the long because, like I said, I use the 1 minute. It's not a chart I really use for other stocks, but for Tesla, if I'm trying to scalp, I will use the 1 minute. Look at all of the support here that we had in the 1 minute Tesla support resistance flips. Why was I not getting long 222.50? Okay, in my defense, I was looking at the monster that is Lilly. So it all works out. But yeah, like I said, sorry guys, I haven't taken a lot of trades today. I've just really been trying to focus on trades that I like. None of them have been winners yet. But the thing is, the day's still young.
Oh, yeah.
And this is definitely me trying a bit of a more aggressive strategy, only striking when the iron is hot, when the iron is very, very hot. Today the market has been hot. Whoa, Tesla news says, do you want to pursue? There was a volume spike here, actually, a little bit. Let's find out. Are you seeing anything on the Tesla one?
All I'm seeing, Adara, is they hired an Uber hires a former Tesla executive. That's not doing anything for Uber.
A lot of people tweeting about the volume on Tesla, so that could be pushing it even further. Also worth noting here, this is kind of a technical level, right? Like this is a level we did, and it just, that was a level. I was looking at this earlier, that 223.20s. Look at how much support resistance is here. This is like a flat top break at VWAP. So that could also be why we're pushing higher here, right? I think that could be also with regards to the technical. Hydration Nation says, Adrian, honestly, yeah, like I feel pretty hydrated. I'm just a little, I wish it was like Caffeine Nation. No, I'm joking. But gonna sip some water here. Lilly is out here going breaking my heart, but it's all good there. You cannot have your heart broken by stocks because they don't have feelings. They don't care about yours. So it's all good there. Just got to keep going. And that's what I love about this community and just being able to sit here at these desks. We always keep each other pushing higher, staying positive because you might be down in the day, in which case I am because, like I said, 3 stocks, red on all of them. But I stand by all the trades I took. I waited for all those trades, and you're always going to be bullish positivity, if nothing else. And sometimes there really is nothing else. How are you doing over here, Sharif?
Gora was telling me that Palantir here, one of the favorite names up on this stage for certain, is breaking through the volume weighted average price. And well, it did. So a couple of things here, Gora, of this. Number one, we got a 32.50. That's break even. Okay, we're not even close to that yet. This level, though, 32.08 VWAP, we breached that. But my concern are these 4 candles here that we put in between 11.55 and 12.10. So 20 minutes worth of being above VWAP only to reject again. And then we're right at those same levels, Gaurav. I don't know. I didn't look at the book to see who's selling around 32.14 or 32.13, whatever that level is. But you're getting a whole lot of resistance. What I do like is the incrementally higher lows that we've been putting off that 31.63. So it's a good look for you. Look, if it decisively breaks above this level, I'm all eyes and ears. So let's put the alert out. So I'm going to put it at 20s. The Katina man is now short Palantir, okay? He got 13s, literally the area that we were talking about, which is an obvious area of resistance going back to 11.55. So shout out to the Katina man. He's taking this bad boy short. Ram. Yeah, you're going to show the Katina man screen. There it is. He literally has the top right there. So shout out to Gaurav. Did you take that trade when I called it out? Just before. Yeah. So shout out to him. The Katina man was looking at the same thing. Palantir, a little negatory on the day, down 1 1/4, but it's been very strong lately, so it's all good there. Tesla VWAP rejection there. Shout out to the Katina man. He's $1 in the money, maybe even more, because it's 91 cents. It's on the way down. Shout out. Sorry, at least I muted it, Ram. Right. Yeah, well, it's for you. It's not for me. Let me tell you that.
That was so salty. I'm proud of you. And like the deadest voice.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to mute it next time, Ram. I know she's trolling me constantly. Something's afoot here, Katina man, with Microsoft, because this is now 6 or there. What is it? Because it's clearly going here. 25. The Katina man, here it is. OpenAI says ChatGPT 4.0 fine-tuning training cost. Yeah, okay, so it's ChatGPT related, 4.0. Here it is, guys. Look at this move on Microsoft, and here's the headline. The headline came out at, give me a second here. Just want to make sure, 12.50. It looks like that headline did drop at 12.50, and, well, we were moving before that, so unsure. Microsoft is at the day's high. Microsoft is uninterrupted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles on the 5-minute chart in a row. It's about to break 424, and this is the headline. OpenAI says GPT-4o fine-tuning training costs about $25 million per tokens, $25 million per $25 per million tokens. I'll read it. And inference is $375 per million. That's really good because inference is what's getting tougher. Input tokens. Okay, so this is a cost breakdown here that the market seems to be really happy with. So interesting, and that's being released by OpenAI on their website. Here's the news release, fine-tuning, and they released it on their site. Not like I understand any of this, but Microsoft, very, very strong, 424, high of day, breaking well through that IB high. Let's zoom out and see where Microsoft can encounter some possible resistance here. Is this, no, it's not all-time highs, is it? No, it can't be. Can't be, not even close. Yeah, 468 all-time highs. Let's zoom out a bit over here on the hourly, figure out where we could encounter said resistance. We're at 424 right now.
This market.
Pardon me?
This market is just like falling.
The market's falling, says Adara. But here's what I see. Back on the August 1st, the first of the month, we got into 427. Excuse me. 427 and 2/3, it looks like that's where we topped out at. That's where I'd expect, well, not expect, but if we do clear 424, I'd be looking to that as the first obvious area of resistance on MSFT. But good move intraday. We get that news headline from ChatGPT. But topping tail candle, though, right now on Softy, 424 HOD, we're dipping down into that $0.75. In fact, breaching $0.75. Let's see if the former area of resistance, this area crest over here from 10 a.m. and around there at maybe say 423.50, something like that, maybe the $0.0025. Do we now hold this area over here as support? Obviously a resistance area. Let's see if it flips to supported there. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I got short Tesla here. I think that's what Sean's getting excited about too. I got short though. I don't think I got short at a good level. I didn't get short at 222s. I'm going to be really, really honest. That's because I actually thought Tesla would be long at 222s because the way that we failed to break that 222s was nuts. Sean is short basically at VWAP, that beautiful protection. Shout out to Sean there, 223.30s. But no, I almost got long Tesla 222s. I'm happy I waited because the way we held this, like I said, the support resistance flip, I was in the short the first time. And I was seeing some green coming in the book the same way that I saw it the first time I was in the short. I was like, okay, I'm not shorting this. I might go long. Alas, I went neither. Good thing I didn't go long. We fell down. Then I was looking here at 221.30s. Now, why did I get short here at previous support and a resistance in the middle of a move down? I'll tell you. I got short here because I saw stuff on the book that showed me, hey, we can't go any higher. I waited for a retest of that 221.30s. Couldn't make it. I'm in. I'm going to give this, I'm giving this literally like 20 cents here. We're getting to 50s. I'm getting out. Okay, we broke below 21, so that was part of my plan. I'm going to add here.
Get it.
Let's get involved here. Wow. Okay, we have a trade that worked out. As 50 Cent and Kanye say, go ahead, switch the style up. If they hate, let them hate. Watch the money pile up. Is money piling up? No, not at all. But is it better than it was? Absolutely, and that's the whole point of trading. $4 AMD, says Sean.
The man's printing up a storm.
I don't have dollar winners. I have cent winners, but you got to be grateful for what you have here. If we break back below into 220.80s, I'm going to be taking out, we're going to take out like half the position if we get back below 221.80s. I'm not sure we will. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that there. Sharif, I'm going to be getting out of this now at 221.30, so I'm risking it to my previous entry level, and that's just because that was, to me, a huge area of resistance. I don't want to give this any more room. I also don't want to get out break even because I don't think that makes sense for the trade. I want to give this my 15 cents to let this run because I think if we break back below 220.90s, man, do I think we get this push lower here. Also, why do I like 220.80s? Look at this area earlier. Look at that little trough. I want to get out half there for sure, and then I want to see that piece of the dream. I want to let that dream ride, and I want Tesla to fall to the downside. And I think this is the huge thing about conviction and waiting. I've taken, honestly, how many trades have I taken today? 2 on Tesla, 3 on SPY, 1 on Lilly. I've taken, literally 7 trades all day. And honestly, we'll see how this goes. This is, like I said, very, very down on the day, and I think that a lot of that was just because of the risk I took with Lilly. The idea ended up working. I would have been $4 in the money in Lilly. So it's sometimes, yeah, right? Sometimes if I'd been in it. So that I had to get out because I got stopped out. That's how things go, right? But I think that's huge. Sometimes you can have the right idea. You have to have the right timing. You have to have all the other pieces working together. Stop waxing poetic about Tesla. Sorry, guys, I'm just keeping an eye on it because it is Tesla, and you do like to babysit that here Cybertruck. we can't get decisively below 221s again. I honestly will take out some profit here just because I don't like I said, I'm trying to hold things for longer. But when that thing that you're holding for longer is a Cybertruck, is the stock we call Stresla, not a great time. Not a great time. Bear, clip clop, has Sean in the bear. He is roaring to the downside. I'm roaring with him. The way we're setting up on the book here, Sharif, I think if we break 80s, it's going to be bloodshed. So I want to see us break 80s here.
Oh, God.
I waited. I will wait. There'll be 50 cents in the money if we break. Oh, okay. Come on. Tesla breaking my heart over here instead of breaking 80s. I think we'll get it. I want to see it stay below 221s. Like I said, I'm willing to move my stop a little bit here. If we stay below 221s, I'm cool staying in this trade. And you kind of have to adjust. The biggest thing I've realized having exit rules, right? Like not giving yourself all the way back to your initial stop. So now we're going to be basically getting out here at 221s. If we get above 221s, I'll get out. I know I said 221.30s earlier, but I don't think that makes any sense anymore. If we get above 221s, I don't trust us not to rip, and I don't want us to rip. There we are in TSLA. AMD calls loaded up, says James Choi. So long AMD, says James Choi. Let's take a look here at AMD. Yeah, I mean, I think, wow, that 156.20, that's a flat bottom break, Sharif. Push down here, Spidey is at 558. This market here, wild. And Tesla, I did get my fill here, then we popped back into 221s. Please, this punch took 50 pennies on half that Tesla position. That was not a super small position either. Then I did add more in. So we're going to see here, we're back above 221s, going to get the rest of this flat. Oh, that order did not work. We're going to, Tesla, come on, Tesla. We're going to have the rest of this, okay. Tesla flat. I do not want Tesla will not fill me here. There we go. We got the rest of this Tesla. Please just punch. Profitable on TSLA. I don't know if I'm profitable on the name because, like I said, try not to look at P&L, but definitely profitable in that trade. If we keep projecting 221, Sharif, you know it's going to do something for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Sorry for speed walking there, but wow, this market's been crazy. Market scared of Bostic, says FFTB. Bostic hasn't started yet. Bostic's at 135, so maybe they're scared ahead of Bostic. Wow, that woke me up. Okay, go Tesla. Let's go. Lilly. Very proud of you. Happy I had the right read on you. Sad I couldn't profit from you, but I couldn't have taken Tesla if I was in you. So things all work out, Sharif. That's the best part of trading.
Sounds good.
Yeah, what are you looking at here?
I'm really happy for your trade there, Adair. Solid trade. While Adair was printing on that short and the Katina man was printing as well on that short, the market was doing things, and you probably guessed it was headed to the downside. So this upward channel right now, to me, that we drew earlier, means absolutely nothing as the future continues to head down aggressively. The Katina man wants me to remind you guys about the Palantir trade that he took at 32.13. It was Gorev or Saad Mahmood, one of the two.
I think it was Gorev.
Yeah, Gorev. Thank you. Yeah, shout out to Gorev for calling that out. That's why this is kind of like a team effort over here. We let you know what we're looking at. You guys let us know what you're looking at. That's kind of the way this works. The future is very, very close to the low of the day. We're at 7 measly points off that 19,743 area. A lot of questions to be asked there. Do you buy the dip trade for a quick reversion, or do you take the flat, well, I don't want to call it flat bottom break, it's only touched a couple of times, but you guys know what I mean. You take the level break, the key area of support break. So lots of unanswered questions right now on the future, but it does seem like a very down day. Look what Apple did. So I want to tell you that I was thinking about taking the long on Apple at VWAP, and this thing would have stopped me out and then some, all right? But look at the aggression with which it's being bought up. 26.10, right back up into 26.40. Let's see if this one can curl right back up. I'll take it long if it gives me a new 5-minute candle to make a new high. But right now, I don't feel like that's going to come in at all on these names. Microsoft also, we saw the headline come in there. It obviously had a bit of a red candle as the market turned a little bit to the downside there, but trying here to hold up above the 10 exponential on the 5. It's up half a point on the day, 0.46, but same difference.
Bless you. Sorry.
I just hope that I don't come down with something. But this is the area because we're short on manpower, obviously, with Brendo being on vacation. But 423 and a third, that's where the 10 exponential on the 5 is looking for me. I'd like to take something on a strong name. See, obviously, Microsoft really catching a bid here as a result of this chat GPT 4.0, whatever, or GPT 4.0, excuse me. So if we can get a little bit of a bounce, I'll look to go north again, but right now we're kind of like in no man's land, near lows, but not below lows. So yeah, keep watching here. Nothing for me. I'm gonna wait, pack my patience. I'd like to get something, but I want it to be done well. And these levels are not hitting for me quite yet. I'm not sure exactly how to weasel myself into any of these trades at the moment. Lots to look at. All right, while I look at this, while I wait for the MAG 7 to resolve, let me tell you about CING. This one was basically very negative on the day until this candle over here, 1235, so better part of half an hour, was able to go green. 1280 is the closing print from yesterday, so we go green. Now we're up 18.83%, almost 20% there, or was at the highs. But here's the sitch. 3 wick shimmy candles right around 15 and a quarter to 15 and a half. This could spell mean reversion a little bit. And I was just talking about how these small cap gappers, when they get extended off the 10 exponential on the 5-minute chart, I kind of feel like that they're overbought. And that's what I meant a little while ago when I was saying using the WMA to gauge overbought, oversold. It's how extended you are on your time frame away from that moving average. So we'll see if this one can come in a bit. Ideally, you'd like to see a 14 hold where the 10 exponential is hanging out. But this one's not moving with the market at all. It's completely marching to the beat of its own drum right now. Very spready. As I look at it right now, it's about a 20-penny spread on a dang $15 name. Who do you think you are? CrowdStrike? Like, calm down there, bro. Yeah, Katina was having a good time over there. So shout out, to CrowdStrike. It's been an interesting trade, CrowdStrike. But anyway, CING, zigging and zagging, trying to hold above 15. Nice small cap gapper making a bit of a move here midday. So we'll keep tabs on that. So I'm still watching here the future to resolve. We still haven't printed a new low of day on the NQ September contract, nor have we recovered. I'm unsure exactly how we zig and zag at this point. Joshua Lee Mallory, excellent language. Thank you. Wasn't going to read that out loud. I thought you had a question. Thank you very much for that. Let's see what else we got over here. Ike says, I'm picking up more coin shares. Hope to see Bitcoins. Shout out to you, my man. Charlie Taff, the sneeze machine, bless you. I was actually coughing. They just only say bless you because it's kind of a running gag.
Oh, I say bless you to everything. That's
I know you do, yeah.
Yeah, because
I thought it was a joke.
I like to I think a little bit, but I also like to bless everybody.
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, Adara. You can, you channel your inner Pope John Paul. And, just go and bless.
That was a good reference there, yeah.
All right, Microsoft, here it is. This is what I was talking about. This could be interesting here on the softie. $5 on AMD. The Katina Man is $5 in the money on AMD, for anybody who's wondering. This is what I was talking about. Look how it closed as a hammer candle, and then another 5-minute candle will make a new high. Softie looks interesting at this point. It's got a catalyst, guys. I was going to show it to you real quick over here because I displayed it quick last time, but it really is all about ChatGPT. It's not Microsoft specific, but we obviously know the intersection between these two companies. The headline is essentially how much training and inference is going to cost in the dollars per token, and it looks as if the market reacting well to that. I was saying to somebody in the chat there, I think it gives analysts a gauge into costs. Right? So analysts are always trying to figure out what balance sheet may or may not look like so they can assign a rating and a possible price target. When you got deets like this about the cost of training these AI models, it gives them another, little factor there they can use as part of their analysis. So that's my take of that whole news item and why it's important on the day. Microsoft up 0.5 point.
Oh. Okay, I gasped there because I'm in the money on PanW and I want to talk about it. So I didn't talk about this. I'm like red in the face. I did not talk about this trade on the show potentially, but I did talk about it to Sharif off camera. He can attest to this. I said in general I was interested in this on earnings because you guys know I like my spreadier names. Is PanW one? Oh, without a doubt. So PanW was spreadier. PanW had earnings. PanW also had this 372. So I said to Sharif, look at this 372 hold. He was like, well, that's crazy. And I said to him, I don't want that long. Oh. I want that short when it breaks below it.
Wow, bro.
You know what it did?
What?
Below it. It broke below it. So I got short 372, 371.80s initially because that was that area and I was going to risk into 372. What is this, like 30s? Then we broke lower. This was a planned addition here. Like, look, I had this line drawn out. Look at these kind of waffles here, that 371.30s. So I got in there. Just to clarify, with my average, I actually have a price of 371.60s, not 371.80s. We get above that 372s here, I'm going to have to get out because I did add into this position as ghost. Like I said, you know, you got to take risk if you feel good about those levels. So that is what the situation is here. I am going to, the initial plan for the profit taking was get everything out here at this 369.50s. Don't know if that's going to happen. I want to be able to do the lesson for you guys. I want to make sure, ready to do the lesson. Pardon?
Take your time.
Thank you. I want to deal with this pan dub first. Yeah. So I'm going to definitely, where was this at level we wicked into and couldn't get that? Okay, we're going to set a B quitter there for a little bit earlier. If we can get 40% out at 370.85s, I'm definitely going to be cool with that. So there'll be about $1 in the money there. And I think the thing is, too, is you have to have confidence to stay up. We wicked back up, and I'm like, Adara, pan dub is spready. Pan dub is spready. It's going to have to take its time to work. As long as you're below that 371.80s there, you're risking 20 cents with the average position you're trying to make. Like I said, my white whale level, 369.50s. That is like almost $2. So that's more than $2 Adara. Math, come on now. So if I'm trying to make a little bit more there, you can risk a little bit more. You have to recognize this is a spready name. Was I heartbroken that I didn't get Lilly? I mean, yeah, like I was very clear about that. I think I made my devastation very clear. But the thing was, it all ends up working out okay. You know what I mean? You got to let things happen because that Lilly, sure, it would have given you that 940s, but I don't think it's going to give you anything close to that 930s that I really wanted here. Like, kind of still steady to the downside. Meanwhile, Pan W had that violent breakdown. I had clear levels on. I was still able to take it. I don't want to call this a consolation prize because I like both trades equally. But the point is, if you're waiting for trades, that's not a bad thing either. And that's one thing Sharif said with that Lilly. He's like, Adair, you waited for it. Just take it when it hits your level. You waited long enough. I waited long enough and I took it. And that's the same with Pan W. You guys really wax poetic about these trades.
Get it, Adair.
Do I love Pan W's ability to break below 371 on like a decisive basis? Not necessarily. Gotta be honest with you. So this initially had here set for 371.85s. We're going to set this for 371.01s. Take out, that's still going to be, panned up. You want to break lower? Cool. Okay, so we got out here. That was 40% of the position. Like I said, I still have my big level here that I really want to be taking profit heading into that 369.50s. Not sure if I will get it, but man, if we get it, Sharif, stay with me. Please just punch.
I know you are.
Spread's widening, though. The spread on this is getting wider, which is why I'm being cautious. I don't have a ton to risk. Like I said, I am, with Lilly, you do kind of be able to risk a little bit more. So being careful here. JKL, 146 with the 499 super chat saying, still taking bets if NVIDIA hits 130 before 8 p.m. today. Who wants this action? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to bet, but I think NVIDIA, I think that level as we curl back into 127.50, we saw last time we broke above that. That was huge. But I said to Sharif, to me, NVIDIA looks like it's really trying to take its time at 129.50. NVIDIA closed at 130 yesterday, 130.000, like flat 130s. Look at all of this rejection at 129.50s to the downside. So I would say there's a lot of resistance level. I'd feel a lot better about it if I see it clear that huge support resistance flippity flip here at 128.50. If it can clear that, and then we go on once again to clear 129.50. That'd be, I would say, a little bit more bullish. But thank you very much for your super chat, JKL146. Hopefully you're able to make that sweet moolah there in NVIDIA. I wish you the best of luck. Panned up here, coming into almost my point of entry, coming back down. I'm going to wait for this. I'm going to be getting out here. Basically, I'll do break even if we get to 371.45s and we come back down there. Yeah, I'm willing to risk into that. See what happens here. I'll be flat the rest of the position. Took 80 pennies, like I said, on 40% of it. Happy I added in. But I think this might be able to get a little bit lower here. As we have the Qs, I don't know how I sang that, because as we have the Qs coming into a pretty clear area of support and resistance as well. If the Qs sell 479.50, I know Pan W is earnings, so it can kind of do what it wants here. But I mean, I'd love to seal that Pan W in this trade. Let's see, we're getting kind of to a decisive level. We're going to do that lesson soon. I apologize for waiting, guys. We do have Fed's Bostic in 25 minutes. But before I get to that, I see you are in a nice, I love those peak orders on Microsoft, Sharif.
I just took about 20 pennies a dare, but it's coming against me now. So I've got a remaining amount here that we're going to get out if it breaks, and there it is. So it did break 60. So we'll give back a little bit there. But that's the way the soft one works, baby. It taketh and it giveth. It giveth and then it taketh away. I got that a little bit backwards. And what's a little annoying about this one is I hate getting out bottom wick. Like, shut me down, but just don't get me out bottom wick. Like, I hate it. Anyway, but that's the way trading is, and you're gonna have to take the good with the bad. So the reason I got in here because of obviously the strength on Softy, but it does seem like 424, at least for the time being, is a bit of a line in the sand, a bit of a double top coming at 424, not exactly at 424, but at, well, this one came into I think 98 or something like that. I was looking at the book. Good. It could be accumulating here. It's still above the 10 exponential on the 5. I don't want to sing its, or I don't want to start reading its obituary quite yet. I'd like to see a break of 424. If we get that break decisively above 424 on a closing basis, that could be a good long as well. So doesn't mean you have to get it south of 424. So keeping an eye here on MSFT. The future's not helping, though. That's the thing. So you're not getting that support from the futures contract. The future very much nearer the lows than nearer the highs. And that kind of just goes quick cursory view of set chart, and you'll be able to gauge that. The overnight high is obviously 931, but this is the high I'm looking at over here. The IB high that we printed at 10 a.m. got into 19,925, with the low being 19,743, and we're printing 784. So we're a lot closer near the lows. However, in the same way that we were looking at that double top on Microsoft, we could look at a double bottom here on the future. Not saying this is going to turn into a double bottom, but one of the eventualities we could possibly be aware of. And this is that 19,750 double bottom on the NQ September contract. You're not really getting that good vigor in the longs, at least for the moment, able to reclaim 19.8. What's up?
Oh, I just gasped. The SMCI. Well, I did print, thank you. But SMCI actually coming into that 602.
Is that your level?
Yeah, everything's coming to level stream. What is happening on these markets? Sorry, continue.
No, I think this is more important. Do you want to talk about that quickly?
I would need to talk. Well, I'll just say I think this chop and turn here at 605 is really interesting. We kind of went into it earlier. I said I would only be interested in a short on SMCI or SMCI if we push below that 601. I never thought I'd get it. And if you look at this on a wider time frame, this is absolutely a level. Like, look at this. We break below this, it's game over. I want to see us come back, retest 602s, but I definitely have enough risk here. I can go short this if I really want to because, okay, we're going to be watching this. I'm so sorry, guys. I keep being like, oh, less than time. And then all my stocks are hitting levels at the most inopportune of moments. Okay, SMCI, we're going to have a little, little feeler here for a very small position.
Get it,
we get to 601.99s. If we choose to get there, I'll risk it into 602s or 604s. I'm cool with that. But yeah, I'm bearish here, Sean, as is Sean, obviously. This is such a level on so many time frames that I never thought I would get. I think I owe it to myself to try it. So we'll see what happens here. Fully willing to risk into that like 603, 604 area. Let's see if we get my breakdown. But oh my gosh, what a day, Sharif. What a day.
Get down.
Get down indeed. What a day. What a day. I'm so happy here. Please respond.
Sean, what was the lunch technically? People will be like, yo, we didn't talk about the lunch.
Pork chop.
Pork chop, that's right. I saw those big pork steaks. That's right, my bad. Sweet potato, pork steaks, pork chops, sorry, and steamed veggies. I'd say that's pretty bang. Breakfast. Yeah, calm down, sure. I know, right? Can you imagine having pork chops in the morning? I don't want to blame anyone.
I don't really eat like normal mealtime food. I just eat whatever. I wouldn't mind pork chops.
I don't care either. You'd be surprised what I've had for breakfast. We'll just leave that as it is there. Guys, a lot of weakness coming into this market. So danged be, I was going to say the other one, danged be the double bottom that I was talking about at 19,750. It looks like we are going to head down here, moving into the 10 exponential on the 5 on the NQ September contract and rejecting again. So it looks like the future, wants to take a bit of a breather here because we've been up and to the right ever since that dang Monday. I don't want to call it Black Monday because it seems to be a misnomer, but you guys understand the Monday where the market turned down aggressively. It's been kind of, oh, my bad, Ram. Yeah, sometimes I don't, I forget. Thank you, Ram. I do really appreciate your help on that part, Ram. Now I can hear their insults, Adara. Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
That's what really matters. It's not if we have to hear important show things, but can we hear Fabian and Ramin dissing us in our ears?
Yeah, it's always, it's what I live for. When I come to work in the morning, I'm like, I can't wait to hear.
Honestly, it is really fun, though. we really do enjoy getting dissed by Ramin and Fabian.
Because they're
it's a special treat.
Well, that's why I'm so mean to Trenda.
Yeah, because it's part of the culture.
Well, it's just another way for me to be mean to Ramlin.
It's a conduit for Ramin.
It's a conduit for Ramin.
What is our life? Oh, this is so much
Funny. All right, so be honest with you here, Adara. The market is really heading down aggressively, and so is CING. So this wick shimmy at 15.5, yeah, that was basically foreshadowing this big move. But this is the move we talked about. So now it behooves us to load up Sing, because we talked about that move down into the 10 exponential on the 5. Get it, Adara.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Okay, sorry about that. I apologize for saying that. We are multiple dollars in the money here on SMCI. I wanted to take profit at 596. I didn't think that was realistic. Oh my gosh, it looks like it might be though. Okay, we're kind of bouncing here at 598. It's like, you know what? Okay, we'll do this 598. So we get back to 598. We'll take $3 in SMCI. I'll talk about this trade after. Right now, I just want to kind of. Oh, my Lord. Okay, sorry. Get back to
Sing. No worries. So I just got long Sing at 14. Gonna look to basically take something possibly around 14.25. If it doesn't hold 14, if it zigs and it zags, I put my stop at the what I believe to be the appropriate location, and it doesn't look like it's going to hold, at least not for now, and then we're going to get stopped out of this one for a quick loser. So CING doesn't hold up at the 10 on the 5, doesn't hold up at 14, so we give a little bit back there. That'll be the first loser I have on the day, and that's fine. And then it gets bought right back up. So look, I'm not going to let you off the ropes, baby. If you want to go up, get a Katina Man. I love when the Katina Man pumps me up. So if you get back above 14, I'll go long again, because I know that these are specialist breakdowns. So we'll see what we get here with CING. Only, though, now about 8% in the clear. And this is kind of a weird-looking shape. It almost resembles a bit of a skewed head and shoulders. So I don't want to be quick to want to get back in this to revenge trade, but 14 seemed like an important level, especially with all the whiffling and waffling. It did are at those levels at 12.50 or so. So I want to get back in if it breaks through 14. What's your look there? I want to hear all about that trade on SMCI.
Thank you. Yeah, so the SMCI, we have to remember SMCI's pretty. SMCI broke 600, and the SMCI was like, oh yeah, Dara, you have all your excitement, you're hooting your holler, you have your profit taker, and I'm just going to come back to your area of entry. And I'm like, okay, SMCI, I understand. So I want to clarify, I initially was looking to enter this at 600, 602s, right? Couldn't get my 602s. The reason I got in at 600, 601 is because I was like, you know what, that's even in clearer risk area. Because like I said, if I enter at 602, I don't really have as clear of a risk area. But if I enter 601s, then I know 602.50. Like look at all this chop, look at all this churn. I've watched it in the book. If we get above that 602.50, I get out. Now, one must remember, when I say one, I mean me. SMCI is deeply spready. All right, you got to remember the spreadiness of this SMCI. So I got very excited, and I think that was just more like a shock because that thing dropped really, really fast. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with this one. With these spready stocks, you do have to remember they can go with you and without you and all around. So breathe, stay calm. Really proud of myself, though, for taking some different kind of trades. I took a Lilly trade I felt good about, didn't work out. Took this SMCI trade that I waited for. And both those I waited for. Like, I only traded one name in the first part of the day, and I only traded the SPY. Meanwhile, though, when my other trades hit in, I was able to get involved. The thing about SMCI that is making me slightly concerned, and I'll talk about it because I saw the same thing in Panned Up when I got out, is we're seeing a bit of a tightening of the spread. So every time I see a tightening of the spread, if you see the bid climb closer to the ask when the ask is frozen, that is maybe a sign we're going to get, the ask, hit a little bit there to the upside. So I definitely want to be aware of that. But Pan W, I ended up getting out of this, and this is the same reason I should have seen this. We had like 371.40s holding there. My flat for me was 45, right? We start climbing higher on the bid, and I was like, okay, this is probably going to go against me. This is going to go against me. Ended up going against me there. Should have probably reacted a bit fast. I got it basically flat. Like it is what it is here. Still made money on that trade, but I want to be just honestly. Someone asked me once, like, can you do like a lesson of the day about reading the order books? Because I talk about it a lot. I'd be down. Sometimes do like an order book lesson of the day. The biggest thing though is patterns, like if you're noticing things, right? And I think especially for spready tickers, it's really clear to see patterns. So if you've got a situation where you have a pretty frozen ask and the bid climbing up, or the opposite, you have a pretty frozen bid and the ask climbing up there, that can certainly be signs if you're in a long or short of a change of the trend. SMCI, SMCI here, never got to 602s. I'm going to keep my area here. I'm going to keep my peak water. If we get 498 or 598, you'll hear me screaming, probably. I know I really wanted 596s, but I think you also have to be realistic here for SMCI. We do have the... We have the future lows, but are you sure? I can do the lesson. I don't
This is
mind.
a bigger trade for you. I have no problem doing the lesson.
Thank you.
Again.
I really appreciate it.
No worries.
Bullying is out of love, guys, in this case. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I didn't mean to get involved in this.
No, do your thing there on SMCI, and I hope you print up a storm. All right, guys,
So
let's talk about the weighted moving average. What's going on over there, Katina, man? Oh, okay. I thought there was another 5-banger that we want to time. All right. Shout out to Sean. The Katina man's printing up a storm on Tesla. He's at $3 in the money off that VWAP short. As it comes into that 220 level, all eyes and ears. Let's see if it can break down. If it breaks down 220, we could see a bit of a red day today, more than the 1% it's already down here on TSLA. We'll shout out the Katina man and hope he prints on that as we typically do. So let's talk about this weighted moving average. So let's talk essentially about what it is. We all know about the simple moving average. We all know about the exponential moving average. First I'm hearing, as of yesterday that is, of the weighted moving average. So essentially it is a technical analysis tool, surprise, surprise, that assigns different weights to data points within a specific period. But unlike the SMA, which gives equal weight to all the data points, and the exponential moving average, the EMA, which gives more weight to recent data points, the WMA allows for a customization of which data points you want to assign a certain weight. And it's going to make more sense in a minute. How it works is it's quite simple, right? The WMA calculates the average by multiplying each price by its corresponding weight. So day 1 is multiplied by, or is added, or is multiplied by a certain weight. Day 2, day 3, and then you choose the days that you want to add the multiplier to. And that's kind of the customization of it. And then basically you add them all up and then you divide by the number of days. So if it's a 14-day moving average, you have day 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 14, either assigned a weight or not assigned a weight, and then you add all of them together like we typically do, and then we divide by the number, which is 14. Okay, that's what we're doing. Then higher weights, if you want, are assigned to the more recent data points. It's not a hard and fast rule. It's not a carbon copy of the exponential. It is what you want it to be. So just because you're assigning more weights to recent data points doesn't mean you have to, okay? And that's the move there. So advantages of the weighted moving average, it's more responsive to price changes. Because the WMA gives more weight, if you wanted to recent data or whatever data points you want to assign to it, it can react faster than to market trends than does typically the SMA, making it more suitable for those shorter term trading strategies. It's also customizable. I mean, that's really the crux of the whole thing. By adjusting the weights, traders can tailor the weighted moving average to their specific trading style, as well as market conditions, style and conditions. For instance, in a fast-moving market, higher weights can be given to recent data points for a quicker reaction. But in a less volatile or a less quick or in a slower-moving market, you don't have to assign those heavier weightings to the recent days. It's not incumbent upon you to do that. That's the beauty of this thing. You customize it the way you want. Last but not least, one of the advantages here is the potential for smoother lines. So depending on the weighting scheme that you decide to assign to the weighted moving average, it can produce smoother lines as compared to the SMA, the simple moving average, which can certainly help reduce noise and improve trend identification. Obviously, it's not only advantages here that we have to talk about. Some of the disadvantages are the complexity, right? Determining the optimal weights. The weights that you assign to the different data points can become cumbersome in and of itself. I'm going to suggest to you a certain scheme at the end of the lesson over here, but you don't have to follow that. It can be up to you. Go and search online to see what others are doing with the weighted moving average. It's also got a bit more sensitivity to the outliers, the outlying days or the outlying price action patterns. So as WMA gives more weight to certain data points, it can be more sensitive to the extreme price movements or these outlying days, which might lead to some false signals. That's always an issue. And as with every moving average that we use in technical analysis, it's lagging, right? Generally, obviously more responsive than SMA, depending on how you weight it, but all the data points that you're including are all historical. So by definition, it's always lagging. That is one of the Achilles heels. Or not even an Achilles heel, it's just part and parcel.
I was going to say, I feel like you're bullying Neil with that Achilles heel.
Oh, I didn't actually think about that. Oh, that was probably not the right thing to say at the moment.
I know you didn't even realize.
He's good with it.
He's
good
joking.
with it.
Neil, I was joking.
He's joking.
The Achilles Neil.
We call it Neilage around here.
We do.
What's going on over there? Oh, he's got some stuff.
No, realistically, who cares, man? If you can't joke about life, then what's the point, man? Like, you can't take it too seriously. It's over. My stuff's broke. I'll pull out these all the time and let you guys know what's up.
But
old, busted up Achilles. Although I took so yesterday, no word of a lie, I walked from one side of my bedroom to the other. And I was so happy when I did it. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm not paying for it today. Like, I'm not putting as much weight on it today as I was yesterday because it goes in waves. So it's what it's all about, man. You got to have a little bit of fun with it, man. Like, you can't take yourself too seriously.
And your upper body's getting bigger, Neil, because you're having to basically carry yourself everywhere you go. He's feeling himself now.
He's like,
Get it, Neil.
Is it true?
Someone
Nice
dusts
of you
his
to say
shoulder
that,
off.
brother. You know what?
Immediately.
Let's end it right there.
Love it, man. Shout out to Neil,
What
man.
a fun time on this show.
Straight up. Shout out to Neil Roberts, baby. Every day, make sure you're around for that Neil's lesson of the day around that noon hour. So when do we want to use these SMAs, right? I mean, sorry, a WMA, weighted moving average. Well, first of all, we want to use it in faster moving markets, right? The WMA's responsiveness to recent price changes can be advantageous in markets with rapid price fluctuations, as well as those, like in Forex and in crypto. Works equally there as it does in equities. Shorter term trading may benefit more from the weighted moving average than longer term. Traders focusing on intraday or swing trades may find WMA more helpful than SMA due to its ability to capture those shorter term trends, as well as its use in specific market conditions. I'm going to submit to you that it's going to be hard for you to gauge which market conditions are apt for this weighted moving average, but that's what experience is for. That's what trial and error is for, and that's what the sim is for, okay? So that's going to be my submission to you guys. And that's a look. Now let's talk about the customization of the weights. So I told you that every data point can have its own weighting attached to it, but what are some of the techniques here for the weighting? That's what I want to talk about right now. And the first one I want to talk about is the volume weighted WMA. What is that? So instead of using equal weights for each data point like the SMA does, the weight is determined by the trading volume for that period. So this gives more influence to periods with higher trading activity. So what do I mean? So today, Apple's done 16 million shares. If my research shows that Apple, is more bamboozling, Palantir's coming into 32 for whoever, 32.20 for whoever's interested in that, because I had an alert there. Let me just look, see what it's doing here. Allow me to digress for a moment. Yep, 32.20. Palantir is getting into that area. 32.30 is a key area of resistance here on PLTR. That is the morning area. This is what I'm looking at over here. Allow me a sec. I just need to tell everybody what I'm looking at. PLTR. This is the area I'm looking at over here. I had it set up at 32.20, so it's put in higher lows and higher highs. Keep an eye out for that, whoever wants to trade Palantir. All right, so, So weighted moving average. So for example, if Apple did 16 million shares today, and my research shows that Apple, is more of a bamboozler when it prints less than 20. So what I can do is I can assign weights to the days when Apple prints more than 20 million shares and exclude the weighting from any of the days that it prints less. I'm not saying that that's an accurate thing to do. I'm giving you an idea of how to use this weighting, okay? And that's volume weighting. Now we can do price-weighted WMA. So weights are assigned based on the price level of each data point. This can be useful for identifying support and resistance areas, and as well as range-weighted WMA. In this case, weights are based on price range. So the high minus the low for each period. This can help filter out periods with low volatility. Again, if my research or my experience has shown me that Apple is not good trading based on my system, if it's less than half a point up or half a point down on the day, I can exclude those data points from the weighting and only include the days where Apple printed higher than half a point or lower than half a point. Again, entirely up to me. And last but not least here, the custom weights can be based on technical analysis. So you can go and look at what the RSI is doing, the MACD, or whatever other indicator you want to use, and make an if-then statement. If the MACD is doing X, Y, and Z. If RSI is above a certain level, then assign a weight or don't assign a weight. So you don't have to base it entirely on what the moving averages or any derivatives are doing. You can basically assign the moving averages to do what you want based on other technicals. I love that. It's very complicated and probably is going to take a long time if you would choose to employ it to have your strategy set out. But I think that gives you a lot of good customizations and one that we should be aware of. Last topic here, trading strategies for WMA, not going to differ much from other moving averages. The first one is the trend following. So traders can use WMA to identify the direction of the trend and enter positions accordingly. You can also use it for crossovers. So if you have a 20 and a 50 WMA, and you get that 20 cross above the 50, or that whatever other time periods you want to use, you can use that golden cross, death cross kind of sitch that we use with other moving averages. Momentum trading as well, possible using the weighted moving average by comparing the WMA where it's printing to the price of the equity or whatever the instrument. Traders can assess the strength of the current trend as well as identify potentially overbought or oversold conditions. I made that point quite clearly on Sing a moment ago. The price action at 15 was well above where the 10 exponential on the 5 was, which was at 14. So you could say to yourself, you know, you're way too extended price action wise away from that weighted moving average. Therefore, you're overbought. Conversely, you're way below that weighted moving average on the price action, therefore you're oversold. You don't need RSI in order to be able to gauge oversold or overbought conditions. You can use it moving averages, obviously it's less accurate. And last but not least, RAM support and resistance. The WMA can act as a dynamic support and resistance level. When it touches the WMA, the price that is, you can look for a bounce or you can look for a breach. I mean, it really does depend on the setup here. So we can use weighted moving average almost in the same way that we use simple and exponential.
Thank you so much for doing the list. I really appreciate that, Sharif. And also, guys, if you have any stocks that you like or if you appreciate this awesome show, make sure to like and subscribe. But if you subscribe, the best part is you can get to the chat and you can vote for a ticker. Exclamation point, join, space, $, ticker. Get involved. Let us know. We had Fed boss ticker supposed to speak in about a minute. Yesterday, we had a Fed speaker who said nothing about the economy. We'll have to see if Fed's boss gives us the same thing. I want to talk about SMCI again. I really thank you, Sharif, for letting me kind of be in this trade. I want to talk about this because I feel like I learned a lot. I'm really happy with the confidence I had taking this trade because SMCI, what the ticker? You guys saw I was so excited with that move down and we came right back up. Ended up actually being a bit of a bottoming tail candle here, but I didn't move. And I have to say, what I noticed here, the way I read the book here, the way I've seen the book move, I'd be very comfortable taking an SMCI trade now, regardless if I see setup I like. And that to me is huge. That to me is a W, regardless of what the P&L was, which it was a loss, as you can see here. But I want to talk about this. I got short, right? We had that breakdown, and also should have took off, saying a double bottom on this. It does look like a double bottom here, but I still think it's worth noting SMCI, that level, that 600, 602, that's been a level for a couple of days here that I do want to pull up. So if, I'll pull up the 15-minute chart to show that. Thank you very much to Neil. I really appreciate that, Neil. Yeah, I think with SMCI too, like I saw stuff on the book as we pushed higher. Like I said, I wanted to give it to 602 mid-50s. That was an area we were hanging out in the book. As we pushed below that, we saw that thing that I said is usually bullish when you see it on the order book. When you've got a spready name and the ask is holding, but the bid's going, ooh, 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 ooh. And then the ask gets up. You know, I'm not obese, I'm not going to say it that way, but the ask gets, comes into contact with the bid. Right. And so, yeah, shout out to Opie and Big Kyle Burdett. We got the bid coming into contact with the ask there in a bit of a slapping way. But that's what I saw here with SMCI.
Get it, Big
with
Spile.
That action, with that push up here. So I like I said, I waited for my level, but I kind of knew at that point it was inevitable. Waited, happy I was in there, and thank you again to Neil for the support. I really appreciate it. You really only learn from stocks that you trade. And then when I saw what we did here, again, I was like well out of it. I got out, like I said, mid 602s. But when I saw what we did here at 604s, which again, huge previous area of support and resistance, look at that chip top. I saw what we did in the book there, and I said, Adara, you don't have enough for us to get involved here, but just know that 604, with the way we're climbing up on the bid, that's going to be long. You know what it was? It was a long. So good luck there in 604. To answer Grob's question, though, about a double bottom, we are struggling so much with 606. I would wait to see us nicely push above 606. That was clearly a huge support level. Once we failed that, we came back below. And with that beautiful pushback up here in SMCI, we really struggled here with that 606. So I'd watch 606. SMCI spread, though, tightening really nicely here. Super micro. This trade, it might not have been super from a P&L perspective, but man, was it super from a learning perspective. So really happy I tried that. And now, like I said, I'm happy to put SMCI on my side chart permanently now because it is one that I think is, I like trading spready names. SMCI gives you the spread, it gives you the volume. So it's like, why was this not a permanent member of my side chart? I mean, we don't have to answer that question anymore. Now it is. Vin Duong asking if I was sorting SMCI. I did at that breakdown because that was a multi-time frame breakdown and it came in with volume. I'm not shorting it again. I'm not trading it again here just because like I said, I don't really have levels on. I don't really have the amount of risk I'd want to take on that. But you know, the other very spready darling that I learned from today was Lilly. Lilly rejected I don't know why I worded it like that. Lilly rejected, I guess I need to word things better. Lilly rejecting 944 once again here. Lilly, I could short you. Yeah, the point is, Lilly, like that 944 to 940 area is still gorgeous. That's a level I'm going to be watching tomorrow. And that's what I think is so great about these stocks is maybe you didn't trade it well the first time. Maybe you didn't end up having profit, but you waited. You took the trade appropriately. That in and of itself is huge. And then you know what to expect next time. Also, thanks again to Sharif for covering for there while I had that SMCI, because we are a team. And what are you looking at right now, Sharif?
I'm looking at GTI because RockDoc just let me know that it's moving into $3 and more accurate. Yeah, GT, more accurate he could not be. RockDoc, I love this look. My only issue with this is it is a proven bamboozler. 3 times today we've breached VWAP. Sorry, twice today we breached VWAP. We breached it on a 3rd occasion right now, but both previous times we've retraced to come back. So I don't want to get this on a VWAP break. I'll be more interested in it if it's able to take 3 on a closing basis. 3 shown itself to be a bit of a tougher level to breach. This area over here right at 1225 kind of displays that perfectly. But what I like a lot about this name is not that it's up 55%. These higher lows are so operative here, even though it has been below VWAP the entire day. And you know my rules with these small cap gappers. I don't take them long when they're south of VWAP on a breakout. I'll do it as a range, but not a breakout trade. And so this one, I'd rather RockDoc wait for something like if it gives it to me, maybe into that 20 exponential. Right now, the 20 exponential and VWAP are intersecting. That means a $2.70 bump. I love the higher lows. I don't like the fake out breakouts through VWAP and then the retracements. I'll change my tune though. If we get a decided break and hold above that $3, we could look to at least move into 320 because that's where both closing and opening prints are on these candles here at 1020 and 1025. And then obviously we're looking at that big boy move through the high of day, 358. I'm all eyes and ears about that. But the first step is to take that 3 on a closing basis. And already, why is this thing 7 penny spread on a $2-3 name? Like, do better, GTI. You printed about 3 million shares on the day. That's probably why, because you're a $2-3 name and you've only done 3 million shares. So the spread here, not a good look, especially for a cheaper stock like this. We just heard Adara finished explaining how she likes to trade the spready stocks, but there's got to be a risk to reward aspect of it. And there was plenty of reward on SMCI, let me tell you about that. So that makes a lot more sense to do it that way. We'll see. We'll see. Look, if this tightens up, I'm talking about the spread and breaches 3, I'm all eyes and ears. So let's put this one on the side chart and put an alert for that $3 area. So let's bring in over the side chart over here, Ram. Spray is done spraying its thing there. What? So we're done. I love that. Yeah. So we're going to put over here an alert. Patty. Kill me, Patty. So putting an alert at 304, it's okay, Patty. I love Patty Ice, man. Everybody knows the Mora indicator is, he's behind me. He's always, he's commenting, chirping. I love it. 305, I put my alert for this one. If it gets above 3, I'm all eyes and ears. We'll see exactly how to trade this one. but there is not a whole lot of small cap gappers still in play today, guys. They're all giving back the go, Sing included. ALLG is the one that's really here, held above the volume weighted average price, but this thing probably lulled you to sleep if it didn't already. It will. $1.76 staying above the volume weighted average price, but you're not really getting much in the way of price movements. So this looks good here, Rock Doc, man. Look at this. It's dipping into the 10 exponential on GTI and it's getting bought up. It's still having trouble with 3. So I'm not gonna get quickly into this, but this looks awfully good here. Thank you for pointing it out because I didn't have this on my side chart. If this breaches 3, this is a really interesting trade here. GTI, baby, up 55 and change, looking to go more. All right, what's the future up to up here? Okay, so we hold that double bottom, 19,750. Not like we're clearing it with any vigor, but we're right at 19.8 again. So I didn't really want to use the 100-point level today as a level for my analysis because it hasn't featured, it hasn't been respected by the price action. But this double bottom here and a move through 800 could be interesting here for the Mag 7 names, especially if NVIDIA and the dead one can catch a bid. We already know Microsoft's strong. It's been hovering at days highs for the better part here of over an hour, almost an hour, Adara. Since we got into that 424, it really hasn't put any lower highs. Lower lows. It's been consecutively higher lows, very much respecting the 20 exponential on the 5, but hasn't been able to breach 424. That could all change. When we get into that power hour and that volume comes and those algos get turned back on, we could see a 424 breach. Again, in case you're just joining us, there is a new headline from Microsoft. Obviously, it's not Microsoft specific. It is OpenAI, ChatGPT 4o, their new system. It's basically about the training costs and the inference costs and how much it's going to cost per token or per million tokens, excuse me. And that obviously is informative to analysts because they'll be able to gauge profitability and costs and everything like that a bit better if they have these data points. So a good look right now for Microsoft. I don't want to say it's the biggest name on the day or anything because that applies to Google. That's up 3/4 of a point, but Microsoft, not in a distant second here, Adara, up 0.57.
Yeah, and I think one thing too, if you want to look at Microsoft, any of these trades, you guys have 7 minutes left to vote. Exclamation point, join, space, $, that ticker. Let us know how you feel about the market. Guys, the Fed is supposed to speak at 1:35, but yeah, we're not confident that that will necessarily have anything to do with the market because yesterday we had Fed Waller come and then it turns out none of the comments were actually market related, and that happened. So we'll wait and see. Last time Fed Bostic spoke, he did move the market a bit. We did have that move to the downside, but his comments weren't even particularly bearish. Regardless, I do have my eyes and I have my literal ear. We're going to be hearing some squawk from the birds there. I don't know what that sound was. I like the G's better. We're gonna hear something if we hear Fed Bostic talk. We also have another Fed there bar coming in. 245-esque, so we'll let you guys know about that as well. But of course, I think next week we're really going to get, forget Powell Hour. We'll have Powell Week here at Jackson Hole.
Like it.
We'll get Jay Powell at JH with his Fed buddies over there. Fed's Powell speaking at 10 a.m., which I'll very be excited to cover. I will not be able to trade because I will not be here on the midday on Friday, but I'll be here on those desks, so I will let you guys know what is going on with Jay Powell. Also, I was saying this in the chat. I'd love to give like a TED talk, maybe call it a spread talk, about reading these spreadier names because I've learned so much. Like, just watching Lilly break that 940, because I was like, I want to see us break below 940 here, right? Look at these lower highs. Look at this 940. This is going to look so nice, right? We get to 940 on the bid, okay? 940 even. 940.00 on the bid. The ask is like 940.60, okay? Then we start creeping higher. We get to 940.01. We hold the ask. 940.03. We hold the ask. That is the type of thing that, as I said, is so bullish. And I was like, Adara, if you had risk, you would slap long here. Like I said, I didn't because I was trying to really watch and see. Yeah, that would have worked out, right? And then you could try to take profit, see what we do here at the 90 MA, the next level of resistance. As the spread gets tighter, as the bid and the ask get closer together, and you have that ask get closer together, and you have that slow move up here, slow creep up if you're looking bullish, slow creep down if you're bearish, if you're looking for a downside move. That's huge to watch. I've learned so much from watching this one and SMCI today. And the thing is too, like I got shut down yesterday. I want to be very clear, and I did not trade any of these spreading names today. Traded Lilly, traded SMCI, traded PanW. I have not gotten shut down. And that is honestly, like I said, still down in the day. But I think the difference is I had plans on all of them.
Bang.
I really, really had levels I liked. I waited for those levels to hit.
I know you did.
I did not do any weighting of any kind yesterday.
And that's going to happen.
And that was the issue.
And that's going to happen. But I bet you, I'm willing to bet you that if you do that more often than not, you're going to end up with bangers.
I appreciate it.
Way blow out the losses. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think the patience really, as Bears vs. Bulls says in the chat, patience, P-A-Y. You know what I mean? Because the patience does pay, and even waiting for the levels, trading them appropriately. Even this Pan W, I wanted that short if we broke below 372. Now, did it give you much? No, but I got the lowest wick we've had since then. I got it's rare that you get bottom wick in a good way, and I did have that in that Pan W trade, right? So happy this one was net positive, net a Pan Dub. And I think that again just goes to show patience, having levels, and having your type of stock you trade. If I like these big spready names, why am I not giving them more love? You know what tomorrow is? Pan W day 2.
Hey.
So that's going to be on my watch. Eli Lilly might have some more, move there. I might want to continue to gain back some more weight after that drop there with its Wegovy story. We also, McKee is somehow always doing things at all times. So does Darius Golden with those golden levels there in the chat.
Get it, Darius.
On those moves. But yeah, again, 3 minutes left to vote, guys. Chill Vibe saying if it ain't Papa Powell, market chilling, LOL.
Oh.
Sometimes, but there are some Feds that do move the market.
Yeah.
Fed Bostic last week did. Fed's Goolsby sometimes gives the market a little bit of a fright there. He's a little ghoulish. And also, of course, Crash Kari. Loretta Mester setting the market.
These are great names.
Downside, right? Some of them are from the chat. Some of them, the Goolsby is mine. But yeah, either way, good times there. Every time I test my patience, I pray the price says DVD R43. I love that advice. And I think, yeah, if you learn a little bit from this market every day, I think that's what matters. And again, that's why I'm focusing less on P&L because I want to work in the progress and the learning. I want to see about.
Hey, I took it.
Congrats.
I took it. Yeah, because it was setting up again, Adara. So I said to myself, get up, Microsoft.
I wish you said that out loud because sometimes you do. I would have loved that. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, so we took this bad boy a 90s, I believe we had there, and then was able to take it at a 10. So nice 20-penny winner here on the soft one. The soft one is strong, okay? It's got a headline. It's got the best looking chart pattern in Mag 7 world at the moment. Maybe, first only to Google. Google is setting up for a 168 break. I see you guys talking about goggles in the chat. Here we go. So it looks as if we're above 19.8 again on the future. We're at the 50 exponential on the 5 on the futures. Come on, charts. Let's go, charts. You can do it. There we go. Pardon me. There we go. We're breaching 19.8. So we hold that double bottom. I'm all eyes and ears at the VWAP. 18. I keep saying 18. 19.830. Is where the volume weighted average price is on the NQ September contract. We're above 19.8. We're coming into that 50 exponential, not like we've been rejecting off that. So I personally think we're single-handedly here moving up because of Microsoft and because of Google, because I'm not seeing anything else really making a move. You're getting a bit of a curl up here on Amazon. It's off the lows, 177.50, breaking in 178. But really it is these two that are moving this market up, but they're also having issues. Microsoft off the high, but it printed at $0.25. So true to form, another paper-handed trade. I want to go for 10 for 10. 10 paper-handed trades, 10 days in a row. I can do it. I know I can do it.
This was a little. Can I just say that you did break those Bill Gates to the upside of the high of day at the time?
Yeah, I did.
Can I applaud the trade?
Thank you. I appreciate
I understand we all go to aggressively journal, so
right? Yeah, right.
I just want to show you.
No, I appreciate you. And just the thing is, I'm waiting for the 424 break, and then you take it out when it's a measly 15 pennies above. So I think that's something I got to get better with. But Microsoft on the way up. It's breached 424. The $0.25 is now the high of the day. We have about 10 more minutes left on the show. Then I'm going to go up to the big green screen and then gesticulate wildly, as is my my kind of modus operandi, apparently. But that is the look right now on the future. Back above 19.8, but still very much a red day on the NQ. 0.25 red for NQ World, but it's far outperforming its counterparts. Let's look at how the futures markets are doing. The ES and the NQ, very much the same, 0.27 negative for the NQ, 0.22 for the ES, but it really has been the day of reckoning here for the Rust, down 1 1/3, far outperforming to the downside. Its counterparts here with the Dow, the NASDAQ, and the Russell all in low single digits. The Dow faring the best on the day, marginally below 41,000, down 0.14. The Dow could go green on the end of the day, quite frankly. So we'll have to see how the Dow does. The 10-year and the 2-year, both down. So funny how the equities markets and the yields moving in the same direction doesn't happen all that much. Also, oil down again, 0.5% here on, or actually not even 0.5%. I got to delete that. That's the September contract, Sharif. We're on the October contract now. Down 0.71. Gold again up 0.25% on the day. So good look there for gold. But yeah, that's the look there, Adair. Any final thoughts before I weasel my way up to the green screen?
Yeah, weasel. I like the way you described it. Yeah, no, thank you so much for, like, I'm just in such a good mood today, Sharif.
Hey.
I feel like I'm so much fun watching the market. Thanks again for covering while I did the SMCI.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like you've forever altered how I say that stock's name now. And maybe I'm not the only one. But yeah, this has been, like, literally, I'm just watching these stocks on my side chart and just smiling. I'm like, the market is so cool. And I'm going to stop waxing poetic, but it's just so cool to get to sit here every single day. Eli Lilly has literally one of the tightest spreads I've ever seen in this thing, looking like it's trying to bounce past that 944 level, which was certainly resistance for a bit there. Lilly brings Sally up, says David Clark. Indeed. Also, Pran in the chat wants to talk about Starbucks. Starbucks not really bringing Sally up, though we did have a great bull flag earlier. That didn't really work. We had a bit of chop and churn here at that 93.25, which I have to write down because this level is beautiful. Look at this 93.25. Push higher, come back down, rest of support, lower high. We try to break below. Oh, wait, we can't. That is a bottoming tail candle if I've ever seen one. We push right back up, bouncing off that support there with that support resistance level here of that 93.25. Make a lower high, though, mind you, certainly some resistance here at 93.50. But this is an interesting level here for Starbucks. I think if we hold 93.25, not a bad look. But keep in mind, still having lower highs. I think making a higher high probably be a better look for Starbucks. We are holding well above VWAP and above the 93.25 level. Also, there was another thing I was going to say here. And was it Eli Lilly? Oh, Tesla losing it here. Says Joanna Brewster, question mark. Yeah, Tesla, this 221 was real. Oh, I know this level. This is the level I took that short there, 221.30s. 221.30s is a huge level. And I don't say that because I went the short. I actually took the short because it was a huge level. Look at this support resistance flip. We wick into this 221.30, right? Reject 221.30, but do we? Well, yeah, but then we make a higher low. Come back down, look where we rest. That's right, 221.30. Push higher, come back down. We avoid this level for quite some time. Then when we sell off, we pause at 221.30. And then we go back to Kodukin because that's what we were doing over there. So then we come back now we're kind of holding here. We held really nicely around that 220.50s despite some wicks lower. Now we're curling back below 220.30. I have to agree with you, Joanna Brewster. I think if we stay below 220.30, that's a great look. That being said, I would feel better about this as a short if we break back below this 220.80 level. Again, I know I'm using levels I traded on, but I'm taking... It was really those levels that form the impetus for the trades and not the other way around. You know what I mean? So I want to make that very clear. That 220.80 as someone who actually had a beak winner at that level, that took forever to break. And even then we broke on a wick basis, came right back up to 221. So I think if we can break decisively back below 220.80s and we can stay below 221.30s, I think it's a nice little short. That is a very tight 30 penny range. I watch this book like crazy when this moves, so that's why I feel comfortable with those levels. What's my read in NVIDIA, Paula?
Yeah, honestly.
I don't know. I haven't looked at NVIDIA in quite. Oh, actually, I forgot about this. I literally have a read in NVIDIA, and we're actually at one of the levels I like, which is that 127.50. And my read in NVIDIA is if we can't break above 127.50, don't. I would be very careful. Because 127.50 to me is the cleanest level in NVIDIA. We had this flat top break. We break above it. Then we have clear support resistance, like huge tip top here, 128.40, right? Come back below. Look where we rest. 127.50, then we sell off again. If we can bounce off 127.50, that's a great look. If we can't hold 127.50, it's not. To me, that is one of the clearest levels in NVIDIA. We're dancing around it right now. How are you doing? I can't believe time flies for you.
Yeah, I want to say to Big Spile. Big Spile is always making me laugh. What I miss? Market to zero yet? I'm like, you just want the world to burn, don't you, Big Spile? And then Paula's asking my look on NVIDIA. So I basically answered in the way that I see fit, which is I'm staying away from NVIDIA until it does something decisive with this 128.50. This was the short initially here midday at around noon, the one that I missed because this is an obvious area trough in the pre, Paula, so we couldn't get above there, but What's operative here is this higher low. If we print this higher low, so this is the initial crest at 1040, or sorry, trough, and then we have another trough here right at 1. If we make 2 higher lows and then break this higher high, I'd like something maybe for a 130 test, especially if the future starts moving to the high side in the afternoon, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be that kind of day. It feels like maybe we end up, down a quarter point, whatever it is. I base something off that 128.50. I hope that helps, and I will see everybody in a few short minutes at the big screen. Kill it, Adair.
Thank you so much, Sharif. Thanks again for everything you do. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just in a very grateful mood because these markets have been so fun today. But yeah, we'll see Sharif on the green screen. He'll be gesticulating wildly, which in case people, oh, hi, Sean. Sean just standing in front of, what's up, Sean? Oh, he's waiting for the big man. Okay. Well, there's a little bit of desk traffic. Also, you guys know sometimes I will take a trade at the end of the day, at the end of the midday. And Tesla coming into that 220.80 that you guys know I just waxed poetic about. If we could stay below this, really, really small position. I think we can get this to 220.50s. Yeah, we're going to get involved. Risking it to 221. So 221, if that does something for me, I will be getting out. Let's see if we get filled here. Okay, we did get filled. I waited for the break below 220.80. I didn't want to be taking it above that area. So we'll see what happens here. We're grinding below. That is just, to me, a really interesting level. This can flip back to support. I'm totally cool with that. But if you really like levels, you owe it to yourself to attempt these levels. And you know what? Like someone showed it to Apple Fritter saying, this is a really fun midday with a great lesson. I want to shout out Sharif with the lesson and with a lot of trading. Yeah, we did a lot of trading here live today. We took some different tickers. Like I said, though, I think SMCI is definitely going to be a permanent staple on my side chart. You might see me trading some more of these spready names because you have to figure out what works for you. And if you figure out what works for you, like make it make sense. Or not, that sounded salty. If it makes sense to you, then you owe it to yourself to try that and to trade that. And I think that is really, really huge. Tesla rejecting 220.90s. Okay, let's keep that going here. Yeah, I know, very, very interesting. We're kind of trying to bounce here off 220.80s, but the fact we're rejecting 220.90s keeps me in this trade for now. Like I said, risking 20 cents, looking to make minimum 30. I want to see what we do here at 220.50s. This is just, to me, such a clean level that I really owed it to myself to attempt this trade. I don't like how we're pushing into 220.90s, 95s here now. As we get into 94, I'm going to get out here. Did not risk necessarily as much as I wanted to. That'll be something to aggressively journal about. But when you see stuff like that in the book, you kind of are like, I've really been trying to trust my read in the book better because that was a huge thing that I noticed with SMCI and Eli Lilly. There were things in the book that preempted the moves that we had. And so I want to be trusting that more. I used to trust the book exclusively, which is still not a vibe because you want to give yourself enough risk. But if you see things of note, you should definitely be perking up your ears, be taking notes of that, and being ready. So we've got as well here Freddie the Friendly Guy saying thank you to Sharif and I. We do a great job. Thank you very much. Happy to be there. And yeah, look at Tesla pushing up into 221. I think that could certainly do something for Tesla. Attempted that trade. Shout out to Joanna Brewster saying, get it in there. Get it, everybody, in this program. I really love this market. I really love this trade. Or not this trade. I just love trading in general, and I love this awesome community. Adrian saying sponsored by Energizer and Duracell. Yeah, I mean, you got to stay strong here, right? Maybe you got to have those batteries recharged here for these markets, for these trades. Let's see if TSLA now bounces off 221s. Happy I got it where I did. Did not like what I saw in the book there. Like I said, if we stay below 221.30s, to me, I think it's an interesting short, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. We've also got, you'll see SPY here. SPY continuing to bounce off that 558. Wow. What a level. What a look. The bulls have awoken, says Joshua Lee Mallory. I know you were saying you were looking for a bullish engulfing candle in your super chat, so we'll have to see if we get that. Right now, we're going to have to be engulfed here by the afternoon show. Hope you guys had a great time. I had so much fun here today. Hope you guys did the same. We're going to see what's happening, though, with the big kahunas. And Sharif, see you guys tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Let's go.
Welcome to the afternoon rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to take